Welcome to the 2Ds and an F podcast with your hosts, Jay and Mikey.
Nice slippers, by the way, Jeremy. Are those LL Bean?
These are Uggs.
Uggs.
Yep.
Okay.
I got them right around when Justin got married. We're starting to finally wear. I never really wore them much.
Dude, I love mine. LL Bean, man. Can't go wrong. This is my second pair.
I think we're sharing the sheepskin
Yep.
lining, though. That's where it's at.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, dude. The first pair I
gotta
bought,
get a new pair of slippers. Mine are falling apart.
dude, LL Bean, man. Lifetime
Bean.
warranty. You can just, when they start falling apart, take it back.
That down.
Yeah, I mean, they're expensive, but they're worth it.
Hey, can't put a price on comfort.
No, you can't. These are my second pair. My first pair I bought at the LL Bean in Maine, like the big one, you know? Which is like a fucking like toy store for men.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
They kill the
mountain
sheep
men
there
anyway.
right in front of you.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I always get them and Eddie Bauer mixed up from the. I think they're both in Lehigh Volleyball. at some point.
Patagoma? Patagonia.
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 That's a terrible company name.
Yeah, dude, something happened. Like there was some backlash in the news about the CEO of that Patagonia. I don't know what it was. I just heard something about it. Like he did
probably
something fucked
for
up.
hunting.
I don't know,
some super illegal animal in Africa or somewhere else and posed for it, and everybody's
I don't
like,
know.
"What the fuck, dude?"
So, Germ, what's up, man?
Not much, man.
Yeah. I wanted to kick off this little meeting of ours here with a little bit of a talk about a really good coffee company that I think everyone should support, Black Rifle Coffee. They got a lot of backlash. I think it was like back in July or something like that. There was one of the kids that killed a black dude happened to be wearing one of their shirts, and then there was a bunch of people that stormed the Capitol that were wearing their clothing as well. And then the owner came out and he was just like, "Look, I don't condone this. I don't condone racism. I don't condone any of that shit. Like you should, I guess.
Right.
Like they have to do.
It's a shame you have to come out and physically
I know,
say
right?
that. People are going to choose what they want to wear. They
So-
might not even be aware of the logo.
Like, so that got me thinking, like, so is anybody that is, let's get it straight here. I mean, Republicans, the military vote Republican because the Republicans give them the biggest pay raises, right? And they're like, the Republicans are like, let's go to war and blah, 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 right? If to believe in our country and to support the men and women in the military, it seems like that's making people racist today. I don't agree with that at all. I think that's a fucking dumb notion. But like you have all these like far right people that support these veteran-owned companies.
Mm-hmm. And they're saying that's racist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like,
Interesting.
yeah. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about that.
Little bits and pieces.
It's always like the
Yeah.
left. It's always like the far left.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to. Mike and I made an oath a while ago to not make this a political podcast, but like
to some
this
degree,
is
it's always
bullshit.
going to be, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have that huge divisiveness. Far right is always going to be considered, evil to the far left, but now the cancel culture and the whole offended by everything, and you have to accept everything that I am.
Yeah.
Like
But
aggressively.
who's doing that? The far left or the far right? Are they both doing
Well,
it? Like, what?
I mean, it's a media thing too. It depends how they display it too. But I would say the far left is maybe a little
Because
bit,
there's more
ahead.
there's more media, like there's more far left media than there is like who's far right? Fox.
Fox, I guess, is
That's
basically it. Is there any other one that's
there's a couple of
mainstream?
underground ones. There's a lot of underground ones, and like
At least it's like Steven Crowder. He's, I would say, is more right wing. He might say he isn't, but they seem to cover those kinds of
that
things.
guy's just
I don't think there's a single mainstream news station that is basically represents themselves as like Republican right. Besides
It's Fox. Yeah. But even CNN these days is like, fuck Democrats. It's like,
yeah. Well,
I don't
what does
know.
that mean?
Yeah. But
Collapsing from within.
again, we don't want to get political on this fucking podcast, but something is so fucked up with people these days.
Yep.
That they have to just make judgment calls left and right off of no knowledge, off of just knowledge of what they hear on the news, and most of it is the left, right?
Right.
So
yeah, and they take out a lot of critical thinking, and people don't have necessarily a lot of time to sit down and wonder or decide for themselves what's really going on. Maybe do a little bit of their own research, so they just kind of accept what they hear, and if other people are saying it too, it becomes more acceptable and kind of branches out from there.
Yeah, because they can just bring whatever they're talking about up on their phone, like look at this, or go to this site real quick. Whereas, the media nowadays, because of the internet and because anybody can start a blog that gains a lot of traction, most people see as a legitimate news source because they're not tainted by advertisements that whatever company is sponsoring the episode, they don't want this kind of content on, that we only want this, push this hard, push this idea out. So people are tricked into thinking that some asshole living in a city because he's living in New York or living in LA has this, highly read blog or whatever it is, that it's a legit news source. Like, how are you possibly gaining all this information? Because you're just reading the same shit we all have access to. Yeah. You're just putting a different spin on it, and stupid people feed into that, and all of a sudden you have this huge cultural divide, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse, faster and faster, exponentially faster.
That was going to be my next question. Was it always like this, and now we're just getting in tune? Like, we're just seeing it?
I think it was on a small scale, but we didn't have the connectability with social media to make our voice project more. So the technology introduces a good thing, but the human usage and the narcissism and all that stuff that plays into the ego, you end up creating this, you end up becoming a troll, basically. And I think the media has labeled it correctly twice now. There's a lot of trolls online, and there's a lot of influencers online. Yeah. And they don't really have a lot of necessarily expertise or knowledge about what they're talking about. It's a little scary.
Could there be could AI be a part of this? Could AI just like
the algorithms in your phone?
Like left,
it'll just keep pushing the same shit out.
Yeah.
Pretty much every time you open your phone, you're using and training AI. Especially if you opt in to share your data and like bug crashes and all that kind of stuff. So you pick up your phone, and if you're using facial recognition, that's already AI. When you're typing into Google, that's machine learning. It actually kind of knows what you're going to type, and it's different for every person. When you're on Twitter, they pick up behavioral learning and can plug that into AI, machine learning machines. And collectively, we're all building this huge hive computer, whether we like it or not, huge database. Yeah. And information is the most really...
It's what gets you to buy. Right?
Yeah.
I don't fall into that shit.
The scary thing is they know you better than you know you sometimes.
I know, it's fucked up. You know what? But if I just purposely throw my phone off, like sometimes I'll just talk about like random shit that I don't care about. Because like the shit that pops up on my phone, I don't ever buy. Right. Because I think, oh, that's a scam or something like that. And now my phone's going to like counteract myself because it's sitting right next to me. It's going to, tomorrow, okay, I'm going to buy some shit probably, but...
if your phone accidentally, you cast it to your smart TV, all of a sudden your fucking wallpaper is an advertisement for fucking butt plugs and fleshlights.
Or like Ray said, a 3 foot long dildo.
Yeah. When somebody borrows your phone, like, well, what are you up to? Like, this is not, these are suggestions. These are not actual.
So AI is here. It's our phone.
It will continue.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Now all they have to do is incorporate that into a machine that walks and talks, right?
Right. So that would basically be like the full Turing test, which is if you can convince if a robot or an artificial intelligence machine can convince a human that it's also human without any doubt, then you've passed the Turing test. So that's the ultimate AI goal.
Right.
And then you kind of have this ongoing battle of, well, that means you've then created consciousness, and we don't even understand our own consciousness, and to be trying to create something that's smarter than us and can make decisions on its own is potentially dangerous. It's potentially really useful. But it's,
I
just
feel like
anything.
I feel like the sarcasm of the Northeast would totally fuck with that. You know what I mean? We are so sarcastic up here. It's not even funny. Like, I think that would just destroy AI. It would just like implode.
It wouldn't know how to understand and answer the question. Like, asking for directions in New York. A robot.
Yeah.
We're on a
yeah,
grid
buddy.
system,
You want directions,
motherfucker.
huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I do, sir. I want directions. Dude, have you seen Boston Dynamics? Like what they've done so far?
Yeah.
That shit is crazy.
The maneuverability of all their.
If it didn't look like a robot, I'd be like, that's a fucking human being making those maneuvers.
Yeah, it's getting pretty fluent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have the 4-legged ones and those 2-legged ones. The
Yeah,
2-legged ones can do a backflip.
Right.
And they created like a dance routine.
Dude,
and like,
you can push it and it like maintains its balance.
Yeah.
It'll like catch
Yeah.
itself.
And it learns. It learns as you do it. So that's the machine learning aspect too. So
Wow.
the more you beat it up and play with it, the smarter it gets.
Yeah.
And there's an aspect of
Pretty soon it's gonna be beating us up.
Yeah. Well, that's that's the risk. But
Yeah.
AI doesn't actually have to always be in just like we're talking about a phone. Doesn't have to be a robot. Doesn't have to be a machine.
Yeah.
Because of course then you're always approaching how do we use this for war.
Right.
I think the next best example of AI is Tesla's self-driving cars.
Yeah.
That was actually one of the biggest challenges in programming AI. The idea of driving a car, through the study of it, they realized that it takes a huge amount of self-awareness and awareness around you to make split-second decisions and identify objects where baseline you think, okay, as long as I know where the stop signs are, if there's markings in the road, I can identify those, but the deer coming out or somebody running out in front of the road and how, the decision-making process on what do you do?
It's
or
like
what
a
does the car do?
nanosecond. It's like
Yeah.
faster than the human brain can
And if I'm not
process
mistaken,
information.
yeah, and that's the whole point, really. I think
the further it goes, like it's out in the Wild West right now. It's like introducing a brand new thing to a culture that hasn't adapted to it physically yet. So there's still all kinds of unpredictable behavior around the car.
Mm-hmm.
The more we invest in AI, more things are just synced to themselves, and 20, 30 years from now, there will literally be no danger around the car. Everything will just get there automatically as it's going with very little interference.
Yep, and that even plays into Tesla and Elon Musk's tunneling idea, so that you can have automated, electric car.
I was watching
no fumes, none of that stuff, and
I was watching a tech expo, the 2021 some tech expo in China, where they were showing all the new AI robots, and this thing just scans your face and it tells you, what kind of, based on your skin, based on what your tongue looks like, you may have these maladies or whatever. But with China, I mean, they know how to cut a corner or two. Like if they come out with this amazing technology, by the time it's introduced on a mass scale, it's just going to happen like it did with the phone. It's just going to get bogged down with some kind of third-party software, malware, something else that's going to have something really bad happen to the entire infrastructure of it, and thus Skynet and the Terminator. And I believe that is the future.
I mean, there's going to be some advertisements in there as well. There's got to be, like that will be forced.
It wouldn't be a
into
human
the
experience if you're not being bombarded with advertisements, no matter what you do.
Right. Buy this shit.
I've been off Facebook and Instagram for just over 3 weeks now, and
you save
my
money.
brain is much calmer.
Yeah.
Like just not endlessly scrolling and just seeing shit like what happened in the news that I don't know what happened fucking 2 weeks ago, and I don't care.
Yeah, even if it's not like something news related. I noticed my stepson is just, his face is in YouTube constantly. When we take it away from him, he's a less angry person. And I think there was a study done on this, I'm pretty sure. We'll have to look that up later. But
yeah, it just fucking sets your brain on fire.
Yeah, like he's definitely more angry. Like he'll give us attitude when he's on his phone. If we take it away, it's just like, what can I do to help you? It's like,
yeah. I mean,
how do you fill that void?
Yeah.
because it's an impressive piece of technology that you can get whatever you want on it.
Yeah,
24
it's just
hours
a way to
day.
zone out. It's just zoning out.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to make us dumber. It was supposed to make us smarter,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yep. But the end result is you have the ability to research more, but people will do it less.
Yeah.
And with misinformation and
a
all the fake
lot of
news stuff,
misinformation.
it's even for me that I would consider myself, I'm an analyst by trade. When I go and research stuff, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to really know and cross-reference and just get a good feeling for yourself if you want to spend the time on whatever topic you're researching. And it's you
Like,
never.
I think
it's frustrating.
based on the human condition, like I don't think at this point in our history we should be this drastically far ahead with technology, because it came in the last 20 years has just fucking just faster and faster and faster and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yep.
Yeah, like think about like
we're going to take something that can help us and can ultimately benefit us, but it's going so fast we're not taking our time with it, and we're going to fuck it up really bad.
we saw a time where there were no cell phones.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
I
how
remember getting
fast
my
it's
first
grown.
cell phone. I remember
Yeah.
getting the first car phone.
Yeah, it was like those big car, like Zach Morse phones. Like,
I even remember getting
you had to
the
connect
first
to a
just-
satellite or some
yeah.
shit.
I remember the first,
Michael
like,
Douglas
2
was the man with that giant fucking tumor laying phone.
It's not a tumor.
The Zach Morris phone from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But my mom
Yeah,
had
we
a
wind up
car phone.
briefly.
It was just like this huge thing in a bag.
Yeah.
that you had to like
I think
plug
we used
into
it
your
like once
car.
or twice, but it felt so cool.
Yeah,
It would fit between.
I remember
the center
listening
console.
to
yeah, right.
I think it was an episode of O&A that Louis C.K. was on, and he was talking about his mother was she was an IT person back in the 70s and 80s, and she worked for this company that they were trying this new machine that they bought, and the machine started diagnosing itself, like it became quote unquote self-aware because this giant package came to the building the one day, and it's a part for the computer that failed.
Really?
And they were running diagnostic tests on it, and like nobody ordered this. Like no, we didn't even know this was a problem. The machine recognized that this, whatever it was, it knew what company to order it from. It had the company's ordering information in its system and just ordered it by itself. So they turned the machine off and didn't use it for a long time.
I mean,
'Cause it
pretty
scared them.
convenient. Pretty convenient, though. I mean,
Yeah.
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 But to
I
see
want-
that in like the late 70s or early 80s
Yeah, that
as
is
like
crazy.
a prediction of what ultimately this technology can be, we're not ready for this yet.
I mean,
shut that the fuck off.
if
before
my
it-
computer failed and it ordered its own part, I'd be like, hell's yeah, man. I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, but what if it-
awesome.
Yeah.
But then, in hindsight, I'd been like, I would have been.
it has my
like,
credit
fuck,
card
yeah.
information.
I'm scared.
What if it decides it wants a better video card? And there's nothing wrong with it, but
Yeah.
it just,
What if it
wants to
decides it
start-
wants a better human?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might get a computer virus. But yeah, so I forget the name of the guy that often debates with Elon Musk. Elon is the more cautious
Yeah.
approach to AI.
Yeah.
We need to certainly research it and work on it, but slow down. There's plenty
Yeah.
of time. I think what's his idea called Neuralink is
Neuralink,
the final thing for him.
Yeah. Great idea. I mean, solve most of problems in humans. Like,
Yeah.
you can, diseases or whatever's going to break your circuitry, solve it.
Yep.
And that's what he's doing. That's perfect.
Yeah. I don't know if they consider that the mark of the beast or what's, accepting that kind of thing. Where is it? But, people are always apprehensive to that kind of revolutionary change.
Yeah. I mean, when the guy says one day we're not going to have to communicate with words,
Yeah.
that's a little freaky, but like we
Yeah.
all know it's know it's going to happen
Absolutely.
eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe not
But
in our
do
lifetime.
we
People say
really
they're doing
want
now.
that?
Yeah.
Like,
Do we
we
want that?
wanna
Yeah,
not
that's a good
talk
question.
to each other?
So we're talking about
social skills would maybe go out the window, but maybe not. Maybe we'll have to adapt. Like if
They
people
already
don't
kind of are.
if people don't want to adapt, then we're never going to go any further than we are now. And I think
Yeah.
I think we always have to have some kind of change. It's the people that So our parents, like, think of us as our parents now. Like, if that were to happen right now, our parents would be like, no way. Like video games, our parents, no way. That's I can't comprehend that.
Yep.
That's stupid. Maybe we'll think that way to Neuralink when it becomes more popular, and our kids will be like, "This is the thing, man. What are you talking about?"
Well, I mean, you already have now. What is it? The Oculus Rift, the headset goggles, the VR goggles.
Oh yeah.
I remember when those. I had like a prototype one. My buddy showed it to me. It was like a 480p scale, pretty low resolution, but it was pretty cool. You could like sit in a so-called movie theater and watch whatever you're playing through your phone. And you just felt like you were in a movie theater. It was really compelling. You kind of felt you were there, but now it's all the way up to 4K, I believe, at least 1080p. And they have these tests where you go up in an elevator, and you, in your actual space, you're not high up at all. You just walk across a 2x4. Mm-hmm. But in your visual world, 3D VR world, it's you're walking on a plank off a skyscraper, and it actually creates like actual fear, more so than that was a scary movie or wow that video game was pretty spooky. Like people kind of freak out. It creates
you're tricking your brain. I think you're actually there. Yeah.
So it is the first
Matrix.
link to exactly. It's kind of like an introduction to a simulation. That's very compelling. It's getting more and more compelling.
See, my dad, his whole adult professional life, he builds data centers for huge companies. He does disaster recovery testing. Like he can build an entire server network, anything for huge companies. So he's seen like the progression of the technology from like the early 80s up until now, and at a point he was kind of like this is kind of getting out of control. Like it's easier, there's less physical property you need to have. Mm-hmm. Just don't let it suck you in. Like it's just becoming part of us, and it's scary. And he's
AI,
he's seen it like coming for decades now, and he decided like he doesn't want to get himself sucked into it. So he has like 2 things on his phone, which is like still the Samsung Galaxy S3. Like he never upgrades his phone until they like cut off service to it, and he has to get a new phone. But he just like it's fucking wild. It is absolutely wild how far and quickly it is all advanced.
Mm-hmm. But if you want to, if you like I said before, if you want to advance, if you want to move forward in society, these are the things that we're going to have to start. These are going to be our normals.
Yeah,
like we're going to have to prepare ourselves for what's to come, and this is it, man. This is.
Well, even in my space, I'm behind. I don't have a LinkedIn account. My coworker convinced me to make one. They were writing an article for work and wanted me to link it. No pun intended. They wanted to link me in there, and they were just astonished that I'd never had created a LinkedIn account for my professional career. And I just always wrote a resume, and if I needed to find a job or was curious about finding a new job, I would just do the old-fashioned,
handwritten,
like,
computer type.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I like to get the old typewriter out.
Yep.
I think I have a LinkedIn profile from maybe like 12 years ago that I attempted to put together, and it's like, there's nothing good I can put in here, so I just quit. like nobody's gonna look at this and be like, I want to fucking hire this guy.
Can't anybody see like what you're doing? Like, so can't they see like that you're looking at? You can see when other people look at you, right?
I would.
That shit's weird, dude.
It is weird. I would imagine there's some privacy settings.
Maybe.
But I think by default, if somebody clicked on your profile, and the whole idea is for.
This person's watching me.
Yeah, but I mean, it's for companies
or like
to
gauge interest in
exactly.
hiring you.
Yeah. So you
like or don't like.
It is weird though. It's like I don't want to know who clicks on my Facebook. If that was a question somebody asked you, like if you wanted to know if somebody was like really checking you out on Facebook or something, or like see who your top like people searching on you were. It's a curious question, but if I had the choice to see it, I probably would just like. It doesn't really matter because that's going to drive another like.
And some guy built an app that says, "Hey, download this to see who's been looking at your
Yeah.
Facebook profile.
Yeah,
and
well,
all
that's what
of a sudden
keeps it
your credit
interesting,
card
right?
information is
Yeah.
on the internet.
Yeah.
and,
But that's what keeps it
your bank
interesting,
account's
right?
empty.
Like,
Exactly. That's what I was saying. I wouldn't really want to know. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but
No.
but like a lot of people are like, oh God, like
People
Who's
obsess.
liking my shit
yeah,
today?
But
Yeah.
a lot of other people would obsess
Yeah.
over. You know,
but that's
I
what's
need to
making
know.
this grow. Like
Yep.
that is the main thing, I think. Anyway, that's making like technology grow, because it's just like that's attracting more people to it because they're, I don't want to say their lives are too boring, but it just gives them that incentive, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every piece of technology, whether it's you're looking at the news or on actual social media, every news article is going to have a commenting section below. So now I'm social media, even though I'm just trying to read information. Now I have the ability to comment and argue with people. In your email, even just all the spam that you get. I imagine some people open those up and think they're going to maybe get some gold from Nigeria or really, help out some good politician or something. But the drive to argue and to do it online where you're not actually yourself and you say things that you wouldn't normally say, it creates this whole boiling pot of like the news and
Right.
the media culture and the idea that everything's really going to fall apart soon. And maybe it might, but it's, I think they exemplify how angry people are and how cutthroat and
But
divided
I
everybody
mean,
is.
will it fall apart though? I mean, if this is what everyone is interested in,
Yeah.
because they
If it
know
keeps
they
going
have
that way.
they've got
Yeah.
people, they got a team of people saying, okay, talk about this because this is what people are interested in.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll ever fall apart. To be honest with you,
Well,
I think
I think
we'll get more and more fucked. But
humanity will fall apart. In
Oh, yeah,
terms
oh,
of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
interaction, but
Yeah.
the systems that people use will continue to grow, and people will be in those systems like a Matrix-like event, where it's you're just living your life online, and some guy brings you food to the door, and you kind of
like DoorDash.
yeah, exactly. We have everything's in place. We just need everything to be a little bit faster. Maybe some quantum computers or something to
There you go.
really give everybody access to.
Elon Musk is going to make all that happen.
Yep.
What's the he's sending 4? Did this already happen? He's sending 4 civilians to outer space to circle the world 3 times or something like that.
I know they had a rocket launch a week or 2 ago.
Did it
and
land?
People went into space.
It
That's
might have
all I
landed
know,
already.
but
I think
did
I
that?
did see that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So I
missed
guess it
both.
went well. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I hope so. Yeah,
But the cause was good. It was like the people that they picked, like he put a person in charge that was like a great pilot. He was one of the Blue Angels.
okay.
This is all on Netflix, by the way.
Send me a
and then they picked 3 other people. Like one had cancer, and went to St. Luke's, got cured, and then became a nurse at St. Luke's, that very same hospital. So that was like all the stories are like inspirational like that.
Okay, so they weren't necessarily like NASA.
No, they were
Scientists doing-
civilians.
okay.
Yeah, they were just
you said
civilians
that,
with
yeah.
with
Okay.
good inspirational stories
Cool.
that were picked out of a lottery of people.
Was one of them a flat earther?
Yeah, I was gonna say
No,
that-
no. Why is what's flat Earth? about?
Wasted
never heard
opportunity.
of it.
What's flat Earth?
Never heard of it.
Oh, okay. We're canceled.
I'm more into full space.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that would have been interesting though. Like, oh, you want to prove a flat earther wrong?
Yeah.
No, because
Holy
the
shit,
only
the
thing
Earth
they
is
would
not
do,
flat.
yeah. They
the only thing they would say is after seeing the Earth as a globe, they would come back and say, "No, man, those
No.
weren't windows on the spaceship. It was a screen." They were
Yeah,
playing.
yeah,
perfect CGI or
yeah.
fisheye lens, fisheye effect. Yeah, it's actually if you didn't have the
Yeah.
fisheye, it would be a square, and then if you flatten that square, it'd be just flat Earth, man.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, those people that get into the shit like that, like if you ever watch like a documentary on it, it's like
Netflix
these
has a good
people
one.
have a point,
Yeah.
but not really. Like as soon as they talk about like curvature, it's just like, well, you're a
Yeah.
fucking idiot, and I turn it off. But like,
I think they can make one good point maybe to get your brain to
go
on.
It's like,
but then the second point,
then
you're like,
exactly. Then they make you go down this rabbit hole
Yeah.
of
And then
like
you-
what they want you to see, and it's all fucked.
And so even though you have a general understanding of gravity and, space time and a few scientific ideas, you don't have to be a scientist to explain that to them. Their first attack is, well, you're not an expert, so you don't really know anything, and I don't have to believe you. And they always they're just kind of building that wall so that they can keep continuing that belief system.
Like, bro, have you ever been up in an airplane?
Yeah.
Have you ever skydived or been on a hot air balloon?
Yeah.
You dumbass. You fucking better take that chance.
If I'm not mistaken, the father of the flat Earth idea is also one of the leading guys that pushes that dinosaurs don't exist.
Oh.
So he's got a whole bunch of eggs in a lot of baskets.
Well, I didn't see it happen, so
Yes.
it must not happen.
Yeah.
And again, I've looked at a little bit of that just out of curiosity, and there seems like one or two good arguments, but it all falls apart if you're willing to not already have your set bias of like everything's fake. And you know, because if you're in that realm, then what's the point? I mean,
See, those are the people that are like giving Black Rifle Coffee like a bad name. Like they're wearing just because they like the coffee and they want to support veterans and they're fucking crazy.
yep,
You know, that gives companies like that a bad name.
yep.
And it's fucked.
Well, I mean, what was the protest? Sometime the Black Lives Matter and the whole Antifa movement has been, I don't know how many years now. Just seems like it's been a while. What was it? North Carolina. Somebody ran over a bunch of other people during a protest. Like, does that car company have to come out and apologize and say we don't support that? Like,
Wait, was that Mike? Because a couple episodes ago he was talking about just veering the car to the right in a crowd of people.
Yeah.
Who is this? Your previous
Mike.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like the most famous captured scene in history.
Yeah.
Features a fucking shitty Ford 500, and all of a sudden they just discontinue it. A perfectly good car just
Yep.
gone to waste.
Well, you have to. I mean, you can't take that backlash. Like the voices are strong now more than ever, but you better get on the right side of the.
yeah.
You know, because
So I think it gets weird though when you come out, when you like try and get out ahead of it and then say something weird.
I think we have a lot more. I think we have a lot of followers. I think there's not enough leaders right now, and there's a lot of followers.
Yep.
Right? There's a lot of bored people. There's a lot of people looking into this and going down rabbit holes, and they're not leading the pack. They're just, let's hop on the bandwagon. Well, fucking like Tom Brady then. Like you might as well like don't like the Patriots anymore. You might as well get that fucking who's he play for now?
Phew, she's.
God damn it! We don't.
Sometimes
This is
know
not a
sports,
sports
so, yeah.
podcast.
Buccaneers. I'm gonna
Buccaneers.
guess the Buccaneers. All right.
You might as well get a Buccaneers jersey. Still number 12 though.
Yeah. He kept the same number.
Yeah.
Good for him. I saw the funny meme. I'm a Jets fan, family raised Jets fan of all teams to like. But I'm pretty sure if you had a well practiced and well coached like high school team, they could beat the Jets.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're not a sports podcast, but let me go. Hold on a second. I'm going down this road here. How do they not have a good team yet? They get like number 1, number 2 pick every single time.
The little bit that I know is that while they get a good player or two, the other guys leave, and it seems like they fire their coach more than any other team.
Because they all suck.
Yeah. Maybe they don't. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. I really don't.
Get a good coach.
The meme was before you call Tom Brady the greatest of all time, we have one more challenge, and it showed him in a Jets jersey.
Oh yeah, that's a good challenge.
That would be that would
You got to have a little bit of a good line, I think, though.
You never know. He's got a couple years.
Bring Tom and Gronk over to the Jets, and let's see what they can do.
Yeah.
Watch them go to the Super Bowl. Oh God. All right.
All right.
Mike's getting that
sports.
stare. He doesn't want to talk about sports.
Oh
get
no,
off
no, no! I'm thinking of any good sports jokes that I have in my in my brain, but I'm not coming up with any.
I will say I
except
do
for-
like the bad lip reading videos. where
Oh
they-
yeah, they're fucking hilarious. Oh my God. Is there? Is there a new one out? No, it wouldn't be out this year yet. For last year, it would probably be out now. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody was talking about it last night. That's what I forgot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I did hang out with Jeremy last night.
Full
fun.
disclosure.
Yeah.
We are actual friends.
Yeah, because no one on the podcast I'm friends with. They just come on out of nowhere.
You gotta have Butte on. He's back home from.
I
Florida.
know.
Yeah,
Yes,
that'll be
I heard that last night.
If you ever want to have two guests, I'll come back.
Okay, I need a third mic then, so I'll have to go ahead and get that. But yeah, I would love to have Butte on.
That would be very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike Butinsky. Mike, if you don't know what we're talking
I
about.
don't think I know. Him.
I didn't want to drop full names. I'll let you. Do that.
Whatever.
Oh,
Fucking, who cares? If he's gonna come on, I'm gonna drop his name anyway. Because
You've been tapped, Mike.
Mike, if you're listening, please come on.
He's got that.
Please call us. We're worried about you. Please
We're worried,
come on.
buddy.
Haven't heard
How
from
are you
you
doing?
A little bit.
Yeah.
You're in
Hope you're
Florida.
doing well.
I heard it's going crazy down there. Just want to make sure everything went okay.
Hope you didn't bring
Yeah,
fucking
what'd you bring
COVID back or something.
Is that where you're still on the
An
bus?
alligator or some COVID maybe.
Uh,
So, Jeremy, tell me, there's a couple of there's this thing that you're working on. Was it Columbine?
oh no, we were going through some conspiracy stuff last night.
Yeah.
Things that
What were you working on? You said you were like looking up some things.
there was a. So let me see if I can remember the name of the book. I'm going to butcher this a little bit.
Was it Columbine though? Like the main topic?
Yeah. So I've always kind of been into conspiracy stuff just as a fun thing to research.
Yeah, but there's
Always
more people
was.
involved. You're thinking.
Yeah, so there's a book, and I don't know all the details. And the point I was making last night is I believe the court records, maybe not the court records, but all the investigation records and all that kind of stuff from when it actually happened are pretty much sealed. And I don't know the reason for that, but I think the date is pretty soon, this decade, when they're supposed to be unsealed, which would show.
So we'll get the Netflix special then.
Yeah, I would imagine that would probably be a huge Netflix special or something. But the gist is that a lot of the students were interviewed and specifically identified other people involved, up to and including holding weapons. And my brother gave me this book. It's called Everything You Know Is Wrong. And it spends a couple pages on a bunch of things that were presented in such a way, but actually, if you look at all the facts, it wasn't that way. And there's like 100 examples, and Columbine was one of them. But there's potentially more to come out. You know, it's interesting that they sealed it. I don't know all the information on why they even did that in the first place.
So you think there was like faculty involved? Or?
So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too crazy into the conspiracy world because I don't know a whole lot about it, but some of the students...
Tell me what you think, yeah.
Yeah, some of the students said, I'll say what they said.
Okay.
They said there was a resource officer and also like a guy that would come in and do like fire safety training. That would hang out. He was older, and he would hang out with the trench coat mafia kids, and that was kind of a known thing. And it was, seemed
like a janitor.
Yeah, that kind of guy. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I think he also worked, had firefighting knowledge of some sort. He was one of the people that they said, he was held open a door, saw him holding a rifle, a bunch of other different accounts, but they described him in pretty good detail. And that guy's name is really not known. But there's other like Reddit threads that talk about it, and they try and see where this guy is because, like we were talking about earlier, everybody has social media. Like maybe they can find them, but
Yeah, I think
who knows? I'm more interested in the actual.
what I was asking you last night is what does he have to gain from that? Like it's
Yeah,
not like they were
yeah.
robbing Fort Knox. Like
Exactly,
they were
yeah,
just
it's-
holding up a high school
What did the two people that we know did it?
because they were insane.
Yeah,
They
so-
just like fuck. They were
Yep.
teenagers, right?
Yep.
Which you're already crazy, and maybe you're getting picked on or something like that, and you're just like fuck these people, and maybe
Yeah,
your
some people
parents
just
aren't
snap.
kind to you,
Yeah.
or something like that. But like, what is an older? Yeah, maybe like
Maybe the same reason.
was this guy like the ringleader or something? Did this
Yeah,
guy
it's-
provoke them? It's
That's
like,
who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
And who knows that this is even true?
yeah,
But
right. It's
I
interesting to
it
think
is-
about, though.
Yeah, I think it is fact that he was hanging out with them. The more descriptions of people that were like physically, unfortunately, shooting kids and stuff were more or less, I believe, people that had graduated like a year or two prior, and were pretty identifiable. Some guy with I think that says a white T-shirt, V-neck T-shirt, and like a lot of pochmark acne scarring, and from what they have released, there's it's very interesting that a lot of students have told the same story, even in a time of panic and fear, to be able to describe the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
It's compelling.
But did they interview any of like the school staff who would know the guy's name?
Yeah.
And definitely
Well,
that he works there and
that I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I did find the guy's name once, but I don't remember what it was.
All right, you know what? We're just gonna wait for the Netflix special. I think on that.
I think the most compelling thing is getting more of the actual investigation documents open to the public, just for people to just read what was accounted on that day.
So you just started looking into it. I thought you were pretty far into it. I thought you were.
No, this was years and years ago. You know,
Okay.
sometimes when I'm bored, when I probably should be doing other things, I'll kind of just go down the rabbit hole. And
Oh, boy.
yeah, it's so you never know where it might end up, but it's.
I mean, the whole thing with conspiracies is like, no matter which one I like look at or hear about, like, what is the end game? What is the result? If you're right, what is this trying to make happen? And most of the time, like, okay, so you think the Earth is flat, then what happens?
Right.
Well, like, why are we being kept away from the knowledge? Like, what do we lose if the Earth is flat? It's functioning pretty well.
Right.
So
Yep.
The government just wants to keep us here on
'cause the
shitty
government-
Earth.
Yeah, exactly. Like the only conspiracy, and I have done almost no looking into it, but I want to, and I very easily can. I don't believe that Anthony Bourdain killed himself.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
That's
I don't
actually, I've
believe
looked at that
that.
a little bit, but go on.
Now, like I said, I've done almost no background on it, but from what I've gathered so far, his girlfriend at the time, you know, she cheated on him, whatever, she was having an affair, whatever, but she was also linked to Jeffrey Epstein
That's what I
and
kind of read.
shit,
some
I
of
didn't know
that
yeah.
circle of people that maybe he found out something that he wasn't supposed to, blah blah blah. But you know, it was shown as, you know, this is what happens with depression. You know that, and you know that's absolutely true as well. Depression can, you know, you see a completely happy, content person who is living life on his terms, has a very good attitude towards life, and wants to have the full experience of life, and then just suddenly end it. Yes, depression can do that to a person, but maybe it's more, I don't want to think that he killed himself, because that just makes every episode of like No Reservations or any of the other shows he was on just makes it
Worthless.
it just makes it kind of sad.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy watching him. He's like a passionate guy. I love,
absolutely.
Yeah, even just a storytelling.
and yeah. And it just makes me sad thinking that he would just end it like that. But there is, you know, that other end of it, that he might have been murdered.
Well,
It's
maybe
possible.
Maybe suicide is the new syphilis, because if you remember back to your sister's episode, how you know, you shame somebody, like suicide's like, that's a shameful thing, like, to do. Really, it is, right?
Depending.
I mean, it is, because you're only thinking of yourself. You're not thinking of the people who love you.
If you're like not even necessarily terminally, but chronically ill and in physical unbelievable pain,
I mean, there's
for the remainder of your life,
yeah, okay,
doing it that way, I get it.
yeah, understandable.
But
If you're suffering, if you're suffering,
nothing's
like that, yeah.
nothing's black and white like that.
Right.
Yeah, and the idea of the mental state, and,
Yeah.
and living with whatever condition or whatever, whether it's a physical ailment or a mental issue that, you know.
Yeah, if you accidentally killed somebody, and
But
you can't
Mike, what
deal
I was
with the fucking guilt, and
Mike, what I
shame
was getting
anymore.
at with the syphilis thing is, because
Yeah.
we think that, you know, your great grandfather was murdered by Thomas Edison's people or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they just said he had syphilis. Maybe this is, you know, suicide. You know, suicide's the new syphilis.
Yeah.
Because he
Yeah.
got murdered, and they just said he committed suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we go into that story a little bit? I think you mentioned.
What's that? Thomas Edison.
Tune in
Yeah,
to
oh,
3
boy.
weeks
Yeah,
ago.
just tune
Okay,
into the
all right,
episode.
yeah, you don't want to go through it again.
No, just listen to it. I mean,
Sorry,
No.
there's two conspiracies that.
yeah.
I subscribe
Long story
to,
short,
Anthony Bourdain and-
I mean,
and
Thomas
Calvin
Edison.
Freed.
We all know he's a dick, and well, he's what? How did your sister put it? He's a
Fucking murdering
scoundrel
piece of
or
shit.
something.
Oh, he's a rascal.
He's a rascal.
Rascal.
Yeah.
Classic rascal.
Yeah. So she did a lot of research, and just listen to the episode.
Yeah, and you actually
actual
mentioned
research,
when I saw you.
actual
it's a lot.
research, and not
Yeah,
watching,
actual
not
research.
watching YouTube
Right.
videos.
Facts.
I will listen.
Like the Thomas Edison archives research.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like years and years and years of like digging up fucking records and talking to people who were directly connected and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of, and I'm not saying what you're saying is a conspiracy, but that's the kind of like pulling up the trail, and
Yeah.
you may not ever get to the bottom of it, but you can make a more compelling argument on whatever you're trying to argue. If you can find those documents. That's kind of why I like Alex Jones, because he's always like, I got the documents, you know.
But does he though? He never
I
does.
don't- well, he has a document cam that faces
He is
down.
so full of shit.
I
It's
don't know.
funny. He's just
He is kind of full of shit.
He's like the new comedian. Like he's
Yeah,
like
and he knows
he's
it. He's-
entertainment.
yeah.
That's what he is.
And he totally
Yeah.
admits that.
Yeah.
I listened to it for a long time on and off. Here's my rule, and I'm going to listen to the news. I got to look at it all quickly because I don't want to spend too much time.
I know
But
it's hard
like-
to spend a lot of time on
Yeah,
it.
but I don't like just putting my brain into one area.
Yeah.
I already have a personal bias.
But that's how you go down rabbit holes then, because you'll hear one phrase and you'll take that for what it is and run with it, right?
Yep.
And that's what a lot of the country's doing too, because we don't have a lot of time. It's a hustle and bustle right now. It's like, oh my god,
play off that.
I lost an entire year. I got to fucking make that up somehow. And like, oh, here's this phrase in the news. I'm gonna play off of that, you know.
Well, even now when you click on a news article, they show you half, and there's a button that says "read more."
Yeah.
They don't even
Right,
present you with the
yes,
whole article
yeah.
because people are like, okay, whatever. There could be a whole
half advertisement.
yeah, and then
Also very
3-foot
misleading
dildo.
headlines. Like I clicked on an article that said original AC/DC singer, the guy before Bon Scott, their very original singer. The headline was, original AC/DC singer said Bon Scott was washed up and copied his mannerisms and styles and all that. So I'm reading through the article, read the whole thing. It's like, no, he was complimenting him the entire time. Like, he did say washed up because he said that at that time in his life, Bon Scott was very disillusioned. He didn't think he was going to make it anywhere. He wasn't having a good time in life. And he joined AC/DC, and it all turned around for him. And he wanted to keep the continuity of our shows going, so he would put Angus on his shoulders during whatever fucking song they did that for, and kept that going because that was a big part of their early shows.
well, that makes sense. They haven't.
But you just read the headline, and it's making this guy out to say fuck Bon Scott, when really the entire article is him fucking praising him and saying that I wasn't the right fit for AC/DC, Bon Scott was, hands down. It's
was just
shit
a
like
timing
that.
thing,
And
yeah.
yeah.
That's how
And-
shit gets
and
miscommunicated. Like,
People don't take the time to actually read articles
Right.
when they see headlines like A, B, and C did this, this, and this.
who the
And like,
fuck
oh
has the
yeah,
time
fuck
to-
that guy.
Who the hell
Yeah.
has the time to do
Well,
all that? It's like
Here's
yeah.
the real argument. Everybody has a little bit of time.
they do, but
it's
we
not-
we
yeah.
want to get to the gist of things. Like
Yeah.
when I say, hey, you know, what's the best restaurant in the Lehigh Valley? I don't want to have to research. Just tell me what you think. What everyone in the Lehigh Valley thinks, and what is the best restaurant, and don't even put it in
I see what you're
text.
saying, but that's a different argument when you're talking about information that's gonna like change your mind about the world versus like just
Well,
what you
it's the
wanna
same.
eat.
Yeah, but no, but it's the same it's the same context. Like, whatever information you want. I just brought that up as like an example.
No, it's a good
'cause That's the
example,
first thing on my
Yeah.
head. But
This is what people do.
yeah, it's like, just the facts should be there, right? And there should be someone behind the fence, right? Like seeing all of these things and saying, okay, not picking them on their political agenda, but picking them on what are the facts based on, right? But that's the thing. Like, this is someone's opinion they're placing it in there, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's all opinion based
Yeah.
media where it's not. I'm sure there are some facts, but it seems to be less facts.
Yeah.
While also at the same time, everything's about fact checking. Quote
But I
unquote.
want Siri to
It's
just
super-
like tell me. I want Siri. I don't even want to
Yeah.
read it. I just want Siri to be like,
So you want
this is the fucking facts.
You are ready for Neuralink. You are. a
Yeah,
good
exactly.
candidate.
Okay, give it to me. Let's go. Fuck it.
You know,
Give me that. Put that shit in my brain.
you'll fully adopt the illusion of free will, where your actual thoughts will be given to you,
There you
and
go.
you will act upon them. We're
Well,
not
then
far from that. As
maybe
an
I'll
organic
get the
being, but
maybe I'll
it's-
get the shot then. Maybe I'll get the vaccine.
There you go.
all this,
If
because
AI
maybe it'll
will-
put so much
yeah.
leftist shit into my head that I'll just be like, okay, I think I need to get this.
Screw the other therapeutics. Let's go with this brand new one that is maybe not working so well.
Yeah. Not to. That just went.
Was that a transition?
Yeah. I think so. Let's talk about it a little bit. I don't know where you guys stand on it. I know Mike got the vaccine. Mike got really sick. Mm-hmm. He got the Johnson & Johnson like right before they discontinued it.
I got it. I got it at a
Is that true? Did they
supermarket
do
in
that?
the hood.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
They temporarily suspended it, but
Yeah.
they brought it back, and now there's a J&J booster too. And fucking right, I'm gonna go get it and see what happens.
Yeah, go get
Good
it.
for it, man. Good for
Go
you,
get
man.
it.
That's the choice you're allowed to make. And
Yeah,
I support
exactly.
you, man.
Yeah.
You know what? I
just think it's one big long joke. Like, I think it's funny.
It is,
that
dude.
that like, yeah, put this completely untested experimental vaccine in your
Yeah.
body. I'm like, all right, put it in, see what happens.
Yeah.
If something weird happens, get me in a fucking medical textbook.
Yeah.
Well, they already know that there's a scale of bravery amongst us humans. So
I got in the military. I got anthrax injected into me, like the vaccine, right?
Mm-hmm. And that implies that the vaccine has a little bit of anthrax, so you can fight
Right.
it. Because I guess all vaccines are kind of based on
But
that.
the difference is that shit's been studied for a long time,
Yeah.
right? The normal vaccine takes what, 10 to 15 years.
Something like that, I would imagine. There's many phases of trials
Yeah.
and failures and new findings and all that
So
kind of stuff.
don't make something in a year for me to put it into my body.
Yep. Now, I would find it compelling if it was proven to prevent transmission. I think that'd be a good reason to try and get everybody to take it.
Yeah,
if that
yeah.
was true, 'cause
I
then,
could see
then,
that.
Then we could
Yeah,
see
but you
the
can
end
still
of it.
carry it. You can still carry
Yeah.
it everywhere you fucking go.
So
right?
okay, let's go with that. So
Yeah.
if you get the vaccine and it definitely prevented transmission, but you could still get it from a non-human source, so to speak. I don't even know if that technically makes sense, but you could still experience symptoms. Is what I'm trying to say is, but you couldn't give it to somebody else, another human. That would even probably be good enough for me. But the fact that it only really limits your symptoms, and there's other therapeutics around, maybe a horse dewormer or something, that have won a Nobel Prize.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would take that option. But people that have underlying conditions or whatever they're doing, I'm certainly not a doctor, but it's you're free to choose.
Yes.
I think
And
that's the
that's
whole point.
what makes this country what it is. Yeah. But when I have people shoving this shit down my throat and looking at me in a different way because I don't want to do this right now,
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yep. And the whole it's the media term now, the anti-vaxxer. That idea has been around for a long time. There's people that don't believe in any sort of vaccination.
Yes.
And now we're kind of lumped in with that. And you
Yeah,
got to
which
talk
is a
your way
weird
out
thing.
of that first.
Which is a very weird
Yeah.
thing.
So you got to convince them that you're not that, and then you want to try. It's too much.
That's why I say maybe next year. Maybe next year. I don't know.
I'm down if they can
See,
make one
like-
that works. I'm down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, it goes back to, like I was saying, like, nothing is black and white. Like, even the people who, cry like, oh, my freedoms, it's you can't force this on me, blah 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 blah. I get that to somebody who has, like, okay, like someone like myself, I've never served in the military. I basically have no equity in this country as it stands, besides just paying taxes. I've never fought for this country.
That's more equity than most. If you're just paying taxes.
Anything like that. So I can't. So like a person like myself, I would kick my own ass if my whole reasoning was, no, I want to protect my freedoms because no one can force anything on me. Like, oh, well, I didn't really do anything to.
You can't.
Keep
That's
our
not a
freedoms.
justifiable. Like, you can't. Don't. You're still an American. Like, you are still here. You're fighting for this country in your own ways. You're paying your fucking taxes, for fuck's sakes. A lot of people don't pay their fucking taxes that live in this country.
True.
You living in this country have the right to say yes or no. You didn't have to.
But I mean,
be forced.
like my whole point, like people who do it medically, like, oh, I'm not putting that in my body. It's not tested. Meanwhile, they just eat like shit,
Right.
don't
It's
exercise,
always a
just
good
poison themselves with fucking booze or smoking or what the fuck ever. Like, just shut up. Like, don't get it, but fine. But don't
you just
stand on this fucking moral high ground.
I drink, I smoke, and I exercise.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You just okay. You know what? I'm going down a rabbit hole.
Do it. Go down. Take a peek, bud.
I just because I fought for this country is not a reason for me to say no. I'm not going to get that vaccine. The reason why I don't want to get it is because it's only a year old.
Yeah.
And maybe okay. So it's not part of the virus. That makes it a little bit more convincing.
But you're not pushing
still,
for
I don't know
other
what the fuck
people
it
not
is.
to get it.
Yo, if I was a scientist, and I knew exactly what the fuck these people were telling me they were putting in my body, I'd be like, okay, yeah, let's do that. That sounds legitimate. But don't just because of your political agenda, like push this fucking shit on me because you want this to be over when it's not. It's over for the healthy people. It's not over for like the people that aren't healthy, the people that are on their deathbed anyway. I don't want to sound like a dick here, but like they're already like dying of something else, and then they're going to call it COVID. They died of COVID. Like
and all the numbers, even in the initial cases, who knows what's actually the real numbers?
There are no real numbers, and like I had this argument with people before. It's just like you think the news is gonna like turn around and say, "Oops, sorry, that number's wrong. It wasn't actually that number. It was this number." No, they're not gonna say that.
I don't even know if they're legally obligated in any way. To have to say that.
And when you have a Republican president during the kickoff of this shit, this is like fucking fire for all of the news agencies except for Fox. Fox is trying to defend themselves, but I'm not trying to like stick up for Fox or anything. Like they're all scum, but like this is fire for MSNBC, CNN, fucking all those people.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the people will believe what you picture all these like people like that are sitting home all year long, or these housewives that their husband goes to work and they sit at home. What do you think they do? They watch the fucking news, and this is what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's like believe this.
I'm sure we all have seen the compilations where local to national news all have the talking point and they say the same phrases and they'll put all the pieces together, so it's a video where it's like an overwhelming, like hundreds of people saying the same thing on every little station. It almost seems like,
how does it affect Wall Street and Main Street?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. It's
Main Street to Wall Street. They're feeling it today. Cut to next one with the same phrase. Like,
Like, is there an email sent out like you have to talk about this way, like today?
Yeah.
And
yes, there are.
It probably is. I don't know. Where's Anonymous been? We needed a good data leak.
They did. They just did a leak of some far right group, the Proud Boys.
Oh,
like their whole shit just got blown up.
Interesting.
Anonymous leaked a lot of their shit.
Good.
I think
I
like
believe in
last
Were
week.
those like is like that racist group or whatever?
Yeah,
Proud Boys, yeah,
they're the ones that
wear
like,
all the fucking
they were affecting
military gear, but
they were
never
affecting
served.
Black Rifle Coffee. I'm pretty sure. I think I read something about that.
Yeah, well, that would make sense.
Yeah.
The first time I heard about them, I had no clue who they were until I think it was the debate speech when Biden was telling Trump to denounce, the right wing racist type people. He's like, just say it. He's like, if you say you're not for it, then like literally say it. And he says something like Proud Boys.
Okay, fine. I am against it.
Yeah, but he mentioned the Proud Boys. That he said something like
did he?
stand down and stand by Proud Boys.
And
I was like, that's a weird thing to
wait,
say.
did he say that before it was a group, or were they already a group?
I guess they were a group. I wasn't personally.
No,
aware of
there's
it.
no
they're
way.
already a group.
There's no fucking way.
This was even these last debates. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no fucking way.
I thought he was using weird verbiage to like talk about his fans.
Look,
his Proud Boys.
This is all I know. I fought for this country. A lot of people have fought for this country. Even if it weren't for the right reasons, even if we were in a place that we probably shouldn't have been in the first place, right? But we went there, we listened to our commanders, and we said, okay, let's proudly fight for this country, and then you come home and you are you support these veteran, like Black Rifle Coffee, you support these like veteran-owned companies and shit like that, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, you support the American flag, you're racist.
Yeah, that's
The extreme right has its, definitely its bad qualities, but
all of them
far
do.
Left,
yeah.
The far left, I find much more annoying and hypocritical.
Fuck the left, fuck the right, fuck them all.
I'll give the left some points for creativity.
If you pay your taxes and you support your country, good for you. Don't listen to the fucking news. That's all I gotta say. Mic drop. Boom.
What do you think of the idea? Like, so everybody pays taxes. That's kind of a thing. Be nice not to, but I get the idea of if we're going to have a government, it has to be funded. Make it more efficient, hopefully. Blah blah blah. But what about the idea of getting to choose where your taxes actually go for? Like, you get to check off a box.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah.
What do you think would happen? Where do you think the money would go?
Oh boy!
If we saw the books, we should all. I think everyone should see the book.
Yeah,
every American
the Fed
should
first, maybe
see the
something
books
like that.
for sure.
Yeah, but like just in general, like even if they just release a statistic, even though who knows where they actually spend the money, like 50% of the people really want healthcare or they want more military.
Yeah.
It'd be a curious kind of thing.
Are we allowed to see the books?
No, I don't think we are.
We're not. I mean, I think we
Me and
are,
you?
but there's probably some. It's got to be
Could
public.
Could our congressman go and?
It's got to be like what's your state representative? Maybe I don't know. It's got to be like public access. It has to be, right?
Maybe to
a degree.
You got to see like what your government is spending.
We can see our GDP.
Maybe there's some things they're hiding that you don't know about.
Oh, I'm sure there is. That's what they do.
Sure.
That's the perfect way to.
Yeah, gerrymandering
Black
the
budget.
fucking fuck out of the books.
Yeah.
Skimming off the top. It's one of America's pastimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, money. We have
skim it right off the top.
But
every time we pass a bill, or new budget, we're just adding a digital entry to a computer that says we have this money, and it's not really anything that's real anymore. It's just
that's what gets me about this.
That's
what gets me about this government right now. I mean, it's like it's all about like just government. It's not about. It doesn't seem like it's about America and whatever. Look, I don't want to sound like some like redneck backwoods hillbilly or some shit that's like America, fuck yeah, and that's like unfucking cultured and educated, but I do believe in this country, and I believe that we were there at one point. I think we can get back there. I think it takes everyone to contribute, but if you listen to the news and you listen to all this other bullshit, like right wing, left wing, whatever fucking wing you want to go.
And most aren't willing to sit down and listen to the other side.
Right.
Go ahead and disagree, but just listen. Just shut up and listen.
Right.
You just get more and more divided.
Just just believe in this country and believe in ourselves, and I think we can do this. I think we can all do it together. We don't have to be separated. It wasn't always like this.
Spread more love.
But
man.
do we need another?
But like, I don't want to be. I don't want to sound like a fucking tree hugger hippie or some shit like that. But
they
like,
have some good points.
But like, seriously, there's topics that we need to fucking really work on. Really work on the school systems, the economy, global whatever fucking warming, and like just like if that's a thing or if it's not, just nature in general. Like keep our Mother Earth good. Like.
Yeah, I'm still, even if they eventually came out, and I don't take sides on this because I don't know the data. I don't really even quite understand it. It seems like we have to have some effect on the.
Oh, absolutely.
It has to be some effect.
100%, dude.
How big it
Kidding
is.
me?
I mean, I would be an idiot to.
Look at all the carbon 0%. We're putting. Like,
of course. So, but whatever the measured impact is, I'm completely down for going green either way. You generate more businesses, you get better technology.
Yeah.
It makes everything better. We're talking about technology in the beginning. Like it's a good thing to explore, regardless of the reason.
Making those computer chips. I mean, that's not really going green, but
yeah.
But maybe you can just make a couple, and then that'll help out something.
Yeah. If we have the proper AI, we won't need all the big facilities. You can just have a bunch of machines.
So adapt. We all have to adapt, right?
Yep.
The only thing that the last thing that really brought America together, like no sides, no left, no right, whatever. What brought America together for like a month was 9/11.
Yeah.
So what is going to need to happen to bring America together for more than a month?
Oh, we need
More
another
than a month.
terrorist attack, I guess. I don't know.
It's got to be
The Hawaii.
9/11 times 1,000.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
what it is, guys.
they're going to have to sink Hawaii or something.
Yeah, I mean,
It's going to be aliens that's going to bring us together.
oh, now we're going to
Aliens,
transition
good
into that
point.
now.
Good point.
Then we're going to realize
Is
that,
it, though?
Then we're going to realize we're human and there's another intelligent species.
Yes.
And we're going to...
Okay.
It's just going to erase a lot of boundaries. Or we're all going to go fucking crazy.
So I just had this conversation with my dad today. We were just talking about... somehow it got into, like, religion or something like that. And he was like, Jason, let me ask you this. How do you know God's not real? And I'm like, well...
Is that your personal belief, if I may ask? Or is he?
What's that?
Was he playing devil's advocate, or is that your? Was he asking you why you don't think God is real?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We were growing up Catholic.
Gotcha.
Like,
Me too.
Brought up Catholic. I went to Catholic school for 3 years. Then I went to CDC after that
Yep.
for another.
CCD?
Is it CCD?
I think it was CCD
Not the
because
CDs.
we used to call it Central City Dump because none of the kids like
CCD.
going there.
CCD. Yeah. So it got confirmed. All that
Yep,
shit.
that was yep. Same
They
here.
thought it was going to get me into a good school and all that stuff, but whatever. But yeah, so we got in this conversation, and I'm just like, look, I don't want to push my beliefs on you. I don't want you to push your beliefs on me. I know when we couldn't go to church when I was a little kid, we used to sit down and you would make us read the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Which version of it, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you look at scholars that learn religion and stuff like that, and if you just look at like the facts, you'll find that the Christian religion is based off of other religions, right?
Sure.
So, but I didn't want to get too far into the details and stuff like that. So we kind of just ended the conversation there. But, so it's, hope, great. Have that hope. Like if you want that hope, believe in it. Believe in whatever you want to believe in. That is the freedom that you have in this country. Don't destroy it like some of the people are trying to do right now. They're trying to mandate things and destroy our freedom. I think I said this in one other episode. What do you mean? We can't hitchhike right now? That's illegal?
Is that something?
For me to put my life in danger, that's illegal?
Yeah.
Like if I want to do that, I should be able to do that, right?
Now, is this news saying don't do that, or is that something
It's illegal to hitchhike,
Really?
yeah.
because of COVID, or is that?
It's been illegal probably
really?
since like Ted Bundy. I don't know.
Oh, so I never knew that. I just never wanted to pick anybody up.
No,
so
the hitchhiking is illegal, yeah.
No shit.
When
Interesting.
the law should have been, don't get into any
Don't kill
brown
yourself.
Volkswagen Bugs
Yeah.
with the passenger seat missing.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Problem solved.
I just learned something today.
Yeah, but so anyway, the point is like just if you want to believe in that, believe in that. And if I don't want to get a shot, I don't want to get the shot right now. Anyway.
Yeah, well, even just religion, I think if it
Yeah.
makes you feel good,
Yeah.
it makes you want to be a better person outwardly, and it puts you at peace in some way.
Yeah.
Believe whatever the fuck you want, man.
Yeah.
It's fine with me.
Yeah.
But also, let me believe what I want to believe too.
Right.
Or not believe. Or be agnostic about it and be like, I'm waiting for facts. It's...
Yeah. He was like, "What do you believe in?" I'm like, "Science, I guess."
Yeah.
And I then in my head, I'm like, "Oh God, I fucking sounded like Fauci right there."
Yeah.
Believe in the science.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck.
Well, technology maybe will help explain some of that.
Yeah.
Quantum computer.
Yeah. So adapt.
Yep.
So if there's a couple things we can take away from this episode, it's adapt. America, number one in our hearts. What's the other thing?
I think if anyone
hitchhiking.
asks you why you
hitchhike.
don't,
Can't hitchhike.
yeah, if anyone asks you why you don't believe, or like what's your argument of why you don't believe in God, or why you don't like religion or anything like that, just quickly shoot them a link to any Christopher Hitchens videos. He can explain it better than anybody can.
Who's the comedian? He just did the Golden Globes and made a bunch of Epstein jokes like last year. Ricky Gervais.
Oh, Ricky Gervais.
He's got some pretty good points.
He is dude. Ricky Gervais is fantastic.
I don't know where I stand. I guess I'm agnostic. Really, is at the end of the day, I'm open to the idea.
Yeah. don't know, don't care.
Yeah. Well,
If something happens,
I would say I
great.
care,
If not,
but not enough to be compelled to, make a life change to, I think I'm okay. I'm not a bad person.
yeah.
Right.
I might be a sinner on some sort of list, but
Yeah.
I'm not really repenting for anything or searching for like a source. I'm just happy.
Yeah, same. I mean, I would hope there's an afterlife. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
I'm not counting on
I'm
it,
down.
but yeah, if I turn out to be wrong, I would not be ever happier to be wrong.
Yep.
So, what I didn't mention in the Ray episode was when I after I got my accident, I was on Percocets, and when I was by myself, when the Percocets I was on, I couldn't feel anything. Right?
You met Christ.
No, I didn't. I didn't feel
Became Christ.
anything, and I didn't think I was anywhere. I just thought, like, is this? I mean, I thought I was dead. There was nobody around for like hours, right? And I'm just sitting in my room by myself, and I thought,
Is this a waking state?
is
or
this
is this a dream?
Is this death? No, I was awake.
You were
Yeah.
consciously awake.
Yeah. But I couldn't feel my body because I was on Percocets because I was in such bad pain.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know. It's the weirdest feeling. I thought maybe
It's like a self-detachment.
for a split second, I thought maybe like this is the afterlife. Like maybe I died in my crash and here I am.
Well,
You know?
try.
The sun was like coming in the right angle.
Yeah.
It's weird.
If you want to make sure, try heroin.
Okay, I'll do that.
That'll do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If you wanna make sure you're dead.
You'll get probably close to the same result. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay, it was the Percocets. I'm good now.
Okay. Well, I guess I gotta
Quick,
start
quick,
doing heroin
I
now.
gotta head down to Kensington quick, but I'll be back.
Yeah.
So speaking of weird ads you get, this is apparently a thing now. There's a company called Mind Bloom, and you can take like an online trial and have like what appears to be like a Skype meeting with a psychologist, maybe a doctor.
Appears to be a Skype meeting.
Yeah, it seems like a very easy interview process.
Okay.
To qualify to get I believe it's mescaline mailed to you legally, and then you take it in a session with like a psychologist if you have PTSD, whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
But 10, 20 years, 30 years ago, that was. Now I think that's the wrong drug actually.
Cypicillin.
No, it's psilocybin. I think they're doing
Psilocybin.
in Canada. What's the
You're talking about the cactus?
Oh, ketamine?
ketamine? Thank you.
Ketamine. Oh,
Yeah,
ketamine?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, it's ketamine. I was gonna say it's commonly known as like a horse tranquilizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a
Yeah.
very powerful psychedelic,
Huh.
and with the research they're being allowed to do now, that's one of the things that I guess passed some trials.
This makes you like look at yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
So you're talking about the separation from yourself. You weren't
Yeah.
exactly sure where you were. That's
Yeah.
all of those. So they say all those powerful psychedelic compounds. They basically get that ego dissolving experience where you lose that sense of self and placement, and you just kind of feel.
I would feel. I mean, doesn't
Ego death, I think
wouldn't
it's
that
called.
Exactly.
Yeah, but okay, but just for that period of time,
Right.
And wouldn't that make you feel a little paranoid or like
Yeah, so
wouldn't that give you some more stress on yourself?
Wouldn't you think it makes it more? If you're using it to treat anxiety, you would think that's a pretty anxious experience to feel like.
I would say so.
Yeah. From the results.
See, what I would do
yeah.
is if it's like a video conference, I would just pre-record a bunch of different responses and things like that, and then I would just sell the ketamine.
I feel like the movie Speed, where you have it on loop.
Rake in that fucking ketamine money.
Bringing that ketamine money. Bringing that K.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody is doing that. Actually, just
I
watched.
spell cash with a capital K.
There's a documentary on Netflix that just came out, I guess, or it's popular now. How to make money by selling drugs online or something. It's about this German kid. He was like 15 years old. He was out selling the Silk Road Market
Yes.
with a site that wasn't even on the dark
This is
web.
the dark-
It
wasn't the
it
dark
wasn't on
net?
the dark web. It was a regular www
wow.
site. www.
This was like this was way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
This is the first
crazy-
one probably. and then it went darknet.
Well, this kid was really smart. He used his expertise in the wrong way, obviously, but at 15, 16 years old, he was frustrated with the efficiency of ordering drugs, and the stories he heard about other people ordering drugs from the Silk Road dark web markets, and he just had the know-how at 15, 16 years old to make it better and apparently safer to transact on. I don't know, but it's an awesome documentary.
I think I heard of this dude on
and you pretty much got a slap
dark
on the
web
wrist.
podcast or some shit like that. Some kind of dark web podcast. I think I heard this dude. Yeah.
Crazy story.
Yeah.
And you pretty much got a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to watch the documentary, I won't give anything away, but there's a
It's
couple
on
of
Netflix?
twists. Yeah,
What's
it's
it
on
called?
Netflix. Basically, like
What's it called?
how to sell drugs online, and then
that's
like
what's called?
parentheses fast, something like that, or how
Okay.
to make money by selling drugs online. But it's all
We should
it's
make
his
this
whole story.
podcast dark web exclusive. It's only available in the dark
So we
web.
get less listeners.
Install
There's
your onion
nothing
browsers,
illegal
everybody.
or even really that controversial.
Those
going on.
those 10 listeners in France can't even access us. We're
Yeah.
that exclusive.
Is this the time where you have a VPN sponsor, or are we going to skip over that?
Oh yes, this week's episode brought to you by Nord. If you want, I lost my sheet, so we'll get the proper plug-in next week.
Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. NordVPN,
Sorry, Nord.
everybody. I heard it's good.
That's the thing though, VPNs.
Yeah.
That's like if you don't want to be followed, like someone's like the government's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, Jeremy, I'm gonna follow you. Like you're important.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna fucking do something that's gonna change the world, Jeremy. And maybe you might, but I'll tell you. Let me
hope
just
not.
change that. They're gonna follow
I don't
me.
want the
I
attention.
won't. Okay. So follow me, government. Like, do I need a VPN? Do I really need a VPN?
So, even as a computer guy, VPNs transfer your like endpoint, so it appears as though you're making requests from here, but
Yeah.
it looks like you're in Germany or
Right.
Thailand, whatever,
Wherever you want,
some
right?
other place far away, and
Yeah.
it makes multiple jumps. So it's it's not just
But you can actually make it where
think if
you
you-
want to
if
make it,
you-
right?
yeah, I think so. I think so.
I
I don't
heard of
really
that.
use. I use it to I can connect to my work,
Okay.
but
Yeah, if you're like running a business online that's bringing in a lot of money and you have a lot of account
don't wanna be hacked.
information, shit like that, you don't want to be easily found.
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure like if you do find yourself like you're saying on a watch list, and they want to really see what you're doing, a simple VPN is not going to.
Right. They'll be able to find you no
if-
matter what.
for a general person, they're gonna go, why is this guy from wherever keep calling me, or it's this, I can't figure this out. But yeah, somebody who really wants to investigate it can get back to the source. And
So if you want to if you plan on being on like an FBI watch list or something like
Yeah,
that, if you plan on that,
future plans, possibly,
which I don't plan on being on that, but
I'm sure we're already there.
it's good to keep in the back of my head. Maybe one day.
Yep.
One
You
day
never
I'll
know,
get
bucket
there.
list stuff.
Watch. There's like some super secret government fucking project called 2Ds and an F, and we're on
Yeah.
an FBI watch list.
How did they know?
Yeah.
By the way, everyone, Google right now 2 Ds and an F, and you'll find a very funny Family Guy clip.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the meaning behind the 2Ds and an F? I
Just
understand
Google
it's-
it. You'll find a very funny
Okay.
Family Guy.
All right.
No,
I thought
it's
you
like
had
it's two dudes and a friend, I guess, because there's dude 1, dude 2, and one F.
All right.
Makes
I was-
makes sense enough for me.
Yeah, sure.
I was thinking of potential test scores.
Yeah,
We were just gonna have a
Well,
crazy
I
conversation.
think that's how it started.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I think that's how it started because we have like smart people on and we're dumb, or
2 dunces and a
2 duns and a
2 dunce caps and a fairly smart person. I don't know.
yeah.
You get to choose who's who.
It was just like let's pick the name. The name's not important. Let's just start the show.
Yeah.
It was that type of thing.
This is really good whiskey, by the way. Which one did I pick?
I don't know, man. There's just so many.
Whichever one.
It's too many whiskeys.
So many
I see 2. You
whiskeys.
say so many, but I see 2.
You had the 19 whatever
I
that
think
is.
it was in 1792.
1792.
Yeah, once the ice melts a little more, it tastes a lot better. I don't drink too much just straight liquor. I just,
Watered down, a little bit. Yeah,
first couple
I like
sips,
that.
I was like, holy shit.
So my grandfather used to like drink whiskey with water, which he actually got me into that. He got me into whiskey. Period.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, okay, half water, half whiskey. Perfect.
Just literal water.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I always heard people order that at a bar, and that's I thought it was just a phrasing for like something else.
No, whiskey water. Yeah.
Interesting. So so it's not as strong. Sip on it.
Yeah, I mean something to sip on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not gonna drink this little tiny drink. You actually have a full drink to sip on. Yeah.
The only thing I could never like casually sip, and I tried, I really did try, but I just couldn't do it, was Cavassier.
Cavassier.
Yeah, that shit is pungent. It's like
I know it from
it's
the rap
cognac.
songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's,
okay.
It's cognac, but it's very very bold.
That's like
very
14% alcohol, isn't it?
It's like paint. It's like fucking wood varnish, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
As far as it tastes, but
the taste is
does
horrible.
get you fucked up.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't.
Is it actually considered a high quality?
I think a lot of people drink those drinks just because they heard them in a rap song,
That's what I'm saying.
or something like.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. Is it actually good, or is it just liked amongst?
If
a
we
certain
rapped
community?
about like Red Bull and vodka, that might be a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing now is making your own drink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Just put a bunch of liquor into a cup.
Yeah.
There it is.
I saw some Vice little documentary where there were people doing that on the street. They had some sort of jungle juice mixture that some guy would make, and it became real popular. And he realized he could sell it. He was making it, by the case, going down the road, selling to everybody. Making a lot of money.
remember so they never sold Everclear in Pennsylvania, and maybe they do now. I don't know, but back in the day, it was just like, all right, who's making the trip to Jersey?
Yeah, I tried it once in college. Shortly after, I thought I had it. I remember being at a party, so I did a shot in the dorm room, and then we went to a little party.
A shot.
Yeah,
it's hard to drink that shit straight.
Yeah,
but even if you just mix it with like the most mild juice, it completely kills.
It does.
The fucking,
really. Well,
the
I
It's
bite
like
of it.
rubbing alcohol.
Would have been nice to
Why
know
would
that.
I-
Yeah, it was.
Why
It
wouldn't
is
you
basically
why wouldn't you
rubbing
want to drink
alcohol.
it straight?
Speaking of COVID, I didn't taste for quite some time.
Oh, you got COVID?
No, but it took my taste away
Okay.
for a long time. I'm not sure
You
it's
don't
ever the
burn
same.
the inside of your mouth.
Yeah,
So from our conversation earlier, I take it you're not getting the vaccine.
not yet. I'm open to the idea of a better version,
Yeah.
an improvement,
Yes.
2.0.
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
Yeah, the conversation I had with Aaron Jones in here, it was just like he kind of related it to a cell phone. Like when you get that first,
Yeah, Work
whatever
out
it
the
is, it's like there's gonna be work out the
Yeah.
bugs. Yes.
yeah. I don't want to be a beta tester. I've tried that
Right.
with video games, and they crash all the time.
Yeah. So we're up to 7,800 people died from it.
From the vaccine.
From the
complications?
vaccine. Yeah.
Okay. I've heard a bunch of numbers, but that one's right
But
down the
now,
middle.
390 million people have taken it
Okay.
in the world.
In the world, so that's
in the world.
That means
Yeah.
yeah. It's like half for us for the country, I think.
The
Something
country,
like that.
this country is like 333 million or something.
Yeah, but I think like they say 40 or 50% are vaccinated. Less than half, I think, is the
less than half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual number is. I'm gonna guess 49 then. If they're
I don't
saying
know.
less
I mean,
than half, I don't know.
It was.
I don't believe the media,
It was
man.
a third a couple months ago.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it's more now.
So my whole thing is, if they could come out with something that was safe, and everything has its risk. You can't just
Right.
demand 100% safety. Nobody can even make that claim that it is. So okay, so that's out there. There's always a risk. The one thing that would make me want to take a shot is the full confidence that I couldn't give it to somebody else. Because that would, I guess that's the point of a real vaccine, though, isn't it? I mean,
Right, and you can still get it. You can still
yeah.
get COVID.
So say somebody else had it, and I touch a railing or something, and then touch my face, like maybe I could get COVID, but I can't retransmit it out to somebody else. I like somehow turn it like a Faraday cage where I just kill it and take it, and my cough doesn't.
Yeah, I mean,
wouldn't emit the virus itself.
yeah,
I don't know if
you
that's actually
I heard you have
possible.
to drink like bleach or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Mike, didn't disregard that comment, please. No one drink fucking bleach. Mike, did you say that your wife's boss or something like that? Is this something we want to talk about or no? got COVID, has had the vaccine.
Oh, yeah.
There was a scare there.
Some people she works with who were vaccinated got it again. There was a little mini
COVID party.
COVID explosion in the office. Even though everyone was vaccinated.
Now, do these tests even check for the type of variant? And how many variants are there, do we know?
That's the thing.
I think there's 3 main ones at this point, like OG, the original.
Yep.
And then Kush.
Delta and
Kush, the second one.
Nice.
I think it's called MU or Mu.
All right.
I think it's called.
NY
It's like
Diesel.
third
Yeah.
confirmed variant. Yeah. Diesel, Crush, Dickhead, Lager.
Oh, that'd be fun just to name them after like weed strains. You know, it's
Yeah.
you gotta have some fun with it. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I think is that mandate even? So what does a mandate even mean?
If there's a Delta, is there an Alpha?
Is Alpha the OG? Or do they just start at the beginning? I don't know how that works.
What
Is
was
it like how they name
what was
hurricanes?
OG? Is that the Alpha?
I guess so.
And then
Is there a
no
Beta?
maybe that was the one that was in the UK.
Beta?
Yeah. And then
What's the one in Australia right now? Is that Delta?
I have no clue.
Charlie.
I'm making this all up.
Charlie? Is that Charlie?
Let's go
Down
with
there.
that.
Down there, we got the Charlie.
We got Charlies down here.
Now, speaking of control and AI and stuff,
Fuck, mate.
Did
What's
you hear
up?
about their law down there that they're putting in place or trying to?
What is it?
Apparently, there's going to be an app installed on your phone, and you basically have to check in within a certain. So, like everybody's basically on house arrest, but you can move around, but you have to check in, and if you don't, they'll come looking for you, and they'll know where you are because you're supposed to have your fucking phone.
Wow.
Yeah, sounds like science
Sounds
fiction,
like
but I think
socialism.
yeah, it's like wow.
It sounds like Nazism.
Wait, but for what?
I think it's because of COVID, but they're this, and I think look it up for yourself, but I think there's not a whole lot of uproar necessarily for that reason in Australia. Now, again, I could be completely wrong, but I haven't heard. I've heard the news, but the scare is that they're going to use it for everything else. Then
I understand if there is a community effort that everyone's on the same page and they're not listening to disinformation and all this other bullshit. And they're on the same page. Let's get rid of this, mate. Let's all get the vaccine or whatever. That didn't sound.
that was good.
too
You started
Australian.
out pretty good.
Yeah, but
Little knifey spoony.
yeah.
I stopped doing
I see
accents.
you played knifey spoony before.
I used to annoy the shit out of a girl I dated doing accents, which I knew were terrible, but I just liked annoying her. So. Yeah, and then
Mike, hold on a
she
second.
dumped me.
Hold on a second, dude. Mike, so my grandmother was just in the hospital and she was like a little disoriented, and she's like, "Where's the knife?" And we're like, she's like pointing to it. We're like, "That's a spoon." And like I thought of that exact same thing. Like it was like The Simpsons or something.
Oh, so you've played knifey spoony before.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Jeremy.
No, I was just saying I wasn't going to attempt any accents today.
Yeah.
I'm not good at any of them. I can barely speak English.
But anyway, back to my point. If the whole community and the whole country is like on the same page and there's not that disinformation, if there's facts and that's it, okay, I can see that. Like,
Who makes
there might be, let's say 80% of the population is on this side, 20% is on this side. Then okay, look at these 20%. They're not following along with this 80% community, then we have to make this mandate because this isn't happening for these 20%. But if it's like, if it's the opposite, if let's say 70% of let's say the United States and doesn't want to get the vaccine and 30% got it, how can you possibly put those mandates in?
Well, that's what I was asking too. Is that a presidential recommendation? Is that really all that is? Does Congress have to write something up and pass something? How does that funnel down?
How did they do it?
I don't know how it works.
How did they do it for the pandemic of, what was it, 1918 or 1919? Like 100 years ago when the
Spanish flu?
same exact fucking thing happened?
Yeah.
Pretty much, even down to I think some of the people getting sick from coughing shit into their own masks and it becoming like a petri dish for new stuff, and people are getting sick from covering up. I think there are some cases of that. I don't know what they did in terms of government requirements for people back then, and how they would even possibly control or even inform everybody.
I mean, it was healthy to smoke cigarettes back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be out in the middle of nowhere, but like, I never knew.
It was legal
Nobody
for a
told me.
doctor to fucking spike heroin into your neck if you were
Yeah.
upset about something.
You have a headache? Here's some heroin.
Yeah. Oh, you've got hay fever. Drink this.
Well, they weren't wrong. I mean, I'm sure it makes you feel better no matter what's going on. So they're like, this shit's great.
Yeah. I need some more of that. What do you call it? Heroin?
Some more problems will come by later, but right now I'm feeling pretty good.
You think people were like banging on the door? Like, where's the doctor? I need to see the doctor.
It's me, baby Boogaloo. I know you got that blue magic.
I just got hit with that mustard gas, Bo.
Yeah. Mustard gas. Oh boy.
All right. Well, so
it's a fucked up mess, man.
let's get off of that.
Yeah, we already derailed. Let's find another set of tracks here.
Let's get off of
That's what we do
conspiracy
best.
theories in general and government, because I feel like this whole episode was just fucked with government shit.
I think one of the first things we said was we're not going to do this either.
I think we're gonna veer whatever we talk about. It's gonna veer back into that. So, but
2 derailments and a fluctuation.
there you go.
Hey, that's good.
That's 2 D's enough for you, brah. Let's talk a little bit about. Let's go back to the AI, and a little bit about like computer programming and stuff like that. Do you, and also jobs like
Bless you, sir.
do you,
Thank you.
so I feel like AI, or maybe not so much like an intelligent robot, but something that can just do this, like move from point A to point B. It's going to take over jobs, right? It's inevitable,
Right.
Right.
You're still talking about a machine.
You're talking about
Versus,
I'm talking about machine, but I'm not talking about like AI. Like I'm not talking about an intelligent piece of machinery. I'm talking about something that a human has to program for this thing to do, right? It's not learning.
So we're really talking
anything.
about the AI software versus the mechanics.
Well, it's not learning anything. You're telling it what to do with your computer. So
Okay.
So the people that are going to have jobs are the programmers, electricians that are wiring it, and the engineers that are kind of putting everything together, right? So where do you see the future in just jobs like that are kind of like low paying, like kind of small time jobs that are needed now, but may not be needed in the future? And where do you see our economy, like kind of like, I know you're not an economist, but like where do you see our economy like headed if we go in this direction?
Well, I think in terms of like that AI automation kind of idea, the home delivery of goods, so Amazon, and there probably won't be any other competitors for Amazon worldwide, so we'll just call it Amazon.
Yeah.
That will continue to grow, and I think they're already doing it. They have little robots that have little guided lines and try not to run people over. I've heard
the hospitals do too.
Yeah. So it's everywhere. So in terms of the supply and demand, shipping of products, could be anything. I think that's where it's going to be really hit. You're still going to need people to do landscaping. You're still going to need school teachers, doctors. Doctors are probably going to be greatly benefited by better instrumentation,
which is AI.
Yeah, but somebody still has to make a diagnosis. Potentially, AI could make the diagnosis. But I think we're a little far out from that.
Could.
Well, sadly,
You could get an
YouTube
email.
has replaced a lot of people's education for the worse, not the better.
Yep.
Imagine a patient like sitting in their bed getting an email on their diagnosis
Yeah.
from the AI.
Yep. Well, I think I might be wrong, but I think Elon has mentioned in the Neuralink idea that there would be like a self-diagnosis.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, imagine on a Windows computer, or I'm sure it's on Mac too.
Yeah.
Where you do a virus scan, you clean out your recycle bin. You reboot, You know,
It's just like at the Chinese Tech Expo I mentioned earlier. The you put this hood over your head and it scans your face and tells you what problems you have.
Yeah.
Like it's still in early stages, but it can tell. Or does it?
Imagine
You know,
the
Chinese are
denial.
very-
like imagine the denial
China
people
isn't
have.
exactly known for government transparency.
say, yeah,
So
well.
You have AIDS. It's like, what the fuck?
yes, you have AIDS, not HIV, but full blown AIDS.
I'm glad we can laugh about AIDS now.
That'll
It's been how long? Ugh.
I miss Eazy-E though. I wish I
and
had
Freddie
some-
Mercury.
Yeah.
Love to pour a sip for him.
Yeah.
You know, I usually don't get like have like an emotional reaction to like a lot of movies where a lot of people do. One scene that got me a little oh man was the scene in the NWA biopic movie where the doctor tells Eazy-E he has AIDS and how he reacted to it. I was
That's
Yeah,
the
that's-
scene.
That's what got
damn
you.
it.
That's a
I
good
don't know,
scene.
I don't
though.
know what. It was a very well acted scene and just like his emotional response to it that kind of got to me a little bit. That was a very good.
Isn't that where like
Very
he was
good acting
surprised,
job on-
like how
by
quickly
that
he's
young
like, I
man.
felt sick 2 days ago or whatever. Now I'm here and you tell me I'm dying. Like what the fuck
And
happened?
that's the
That-
scene that makes you drop a tear.
A little bit. Yeah, it was that was a tough scene. That was a tough scene.
I'm a sucker, dude. I'm a sucker for like fucking sad shit, dude. Even like if I'll take a break from work, like just I'll look at my phone and I'll look at like the good movement Instagram posts or whatever like
Yeah.
that, dude. I can't look at it, dude. I'll just start tearing up.
Was that bad or good? I mean,
No, it's I don't know.
Does it
I
make
don't
you feel
fucking
better?
know.
does it make you
makes
sad or you just make
it makes me
kinda
feel
just, like-
human, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah,
But like it's like
crying doesn't know.
I hope no one walks in right now, and then like people like Mike tearing up from the NWA fucking movie. It's like, what the fuck?
Everybody's a little different. Everybody's a little different.
I don't know. I have a very soft spot for like animals like dogs and cats and things like that, and when bad stuff happens to them that makes me very, very
But
sad.
people suck.
Yeah, fuck people. That like it doesn't even register emotionally. Except for
That's
except
how
for
it used to be,
the guy
man, but then
who
I'm like-
played Eazy-E.
There's
Getting
good
told he
people
has
out there,
AIDS.
man. There's a lot of good people out there
There are.
still, man.
Very
And
good
like
people.
that's how I used to be, exactly like that. Like fuck people. Like you know what? Before I kill an animal, like I once had a shot at a deer and I didn't take it. The first and only time I went hunting.
But you knew you could.
I know I could, but like
So,
I didn't take it. But
yeah,
like
that
you
was
know what I
enough for
could
you.
do? I could fucking probably kill a person
Yeah.
if because just like people are scum, you know. If it came down to it, I think I could kill a person if they were trying to kill me or my family, like one of my family members, my son or something like that.
Yep.
You know, I think I can kill a person. But like an
You would
animal,
also
not- like,
try to kill a bear if it was attacking.
Well,
if it
yeah,
was
I mean-
coming to attack you. I mean,
it's a bear. But if a deer like was running towards us,
Yeah, deer,
I don't think I
no.
would take the shot. I don't know.
no.
I'd
go,
punch
"Give
it.
me a
Maybe I'll
punch.
punch
Come
it or
on,
something.
Come on.
Yeah.
I might punch it.
So it's
But,
the
come
here,
predatory
little sweetie.
connection of like, oh shit, this is gonna
Dude,
gonna be a problem.
I am soft when it comes to fucking like movies though, because like good, like movies that portray like a good scenario. You know what I mean? That just has like a good, like it just hits me like in the heart or something like that. It's
So you
just
like yeah,
soft.
You like chick flicks.
Can
we just call it that?
Fuck
Can we
it.
call it what
yeah.
it is?
Dude. Fuck it.
I like 50 First Dates. I think I'm gonna say I cried during that movie. I thought that was a great movie.
51st Dates was good. Yeah.
I like the whole idea.
Yeah.
And the commitment.
Yeah. I didn't cry. I don't. Maybe there might have been a point where I teared up.
I also
don't
cried when Heisenberg's Enterprise started falling apart too, and he realized it was all over. And Hank dies.
In Breaking Bad?
Yeah, when they kill Hank, I cried.
See,
So
I didn't get that
there's
far.
there's a duality of
I didn't get that
my
far in
brain.
Breaking Bad.
Oh, sorry to tell you
Yeah.
what happened there.
Well, I watched a couple episodes of the first season. I watched the whole first season, and then I just
You got to go
stopped.
further. A lot of the initial people, even myself, it slows down.
Yeah.
And then it's
That's when I stopped.
yeah. You should finish.
Keep
it
going?
Off. Yep.
I didn't really feel bad for Walt. Jesse definitely.
Yeah,
he got
God.
fucked every which
Yep.
way.
Yep.
Every which way.
The writing
And-
is
and
amazing on that show.
Right after
You gotta
Hank
watch it.
dies,
I
and,
gotta
and
watch it. Yeah.
they're taking Jesse away, fucking Uncle Jack and his crew, and then Hank is like, stop. And you think he's going to do something to help Jesse, and he just looks at him and he's like, I watched her die, and I didn't do anything to save her. I could have saved her, and I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of twists there. I didn't like what they did with...
Did you cry, Mike?
No.
You didn't tear up?
That one to get you. No, I think Hank in that show... I know you didn't see it, so I don't want to give too much away, but everybody in that show has a flaw, even down to Hank's wife. Marie or whatever, she always wears purple. She's likes to steal shit and she's kind of a liar. Hank, although he beat up Jesse a few times, he was always like,
he was justified.
Yeah, he always had a justification, and then he's the one that gets done so dirty like that. It's like, fuck.
Yeah. Yep.
Mike, we should make a new segment. Did you tear up during this movie at all?
Yeah.
And we just name a movie, and it's like, did you tear up?
What's the saddest movie you've ever seen?
The saddest
I have a movie that I'll never watch again. I enjoyed it. It's probably one of the best movies I've ever seen, but I will not watch it.
What is it? Because I need time to think about my saddest movie. I don't know.
The Road.
The Road.
With Viggo Mortensen. He's the guy who plays. He's one of the Lord of the Rings characters. A bunch of other stuff too.
Viggo.
The Road.
Yeah.
I
He's in History of Violence. That's another good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Basically, some sort of apocalyptic event happens, and
is that a newer one?
It's pretty old now at this point. I would say at least 10 years old.
Okay.
The synopsis is, though, he's trying to... Like, the world's over. There's no food. There's nomadic people. It's not set up where it's like Walking Dead, where, like, it's constant action and violence. It's a lot more suspense and just, like, terror of what... And they're trying to make their way south because they think if it's warmer, there'll be food. It'll be safer. And
that's the saddest movie you ever seen?
Yeah, because of what continually starts to happen. And I don't want to give anything away.
Did you cry?
Absolutely. I actually stopped halfway through and watched it the next day or maybe 2 days later.
Because you couldn't take it anymore?
Yeah, it was.
You couldn't take the crying? Like you
no,
tearing up so much or what?
Yeah, I just
were you just crying so much?
I couldn't physically see the television anymore. No, it's just the idea of being in a place like that, and he's with his son, and the general idea is that
that'll kill me right there.
If he gets overrun, he won't know what happens to his son.
I'm done,
people
dude.
are doing terrible
I'm crying
things.
right now. Dude, I'm gonna start tearing up right now.
Yeah,
dude, that's the thing that gets me, right? Like, as soon as I had my son, it was just like anything that had to do with like children, leaving children behind, or children getting fucked up, or anything like that. Mm-hmm. That's what fucked me up in the head, and it's just like that's what I felt the most.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, speaking of being able
which
to
is everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned animals, Mike, and
I've never seen Marley and Me. I'm never gonna.
Oh my god, movie. Dude, you're gonna cry the whole fucking time, dude.
I heard that one's just the worst.
Yeah.
When it comes to that, sometimes music, depending on your mood, I think I got a little teary the first time I'm a huge Fleetwood Mac fan. The first time I heard the song "Storms" off of Tusk, that is a very, very sad song.
You know what,
that
Mike,
one got me a little bit.
You're blowing my mind right now because I didn't know. So you talked about a dream you had and Fleetwood Mac was in it, but like I thought you were just being sarcastic. I didn't know you were an actual Fleetwood Mac.
I fucking love Fleetwood Mac.
Dude, I'm a big Fleetwood Mac fan myself. So,
are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Fleetwood Mac Power Hour.
Yeah, let's you know what? Can we just make an episode with like Fleetwood Mac playing over and over again?
Because not only did they make good music, but they're also an interesting band because they all fucked each other.
They all did,
and just kept the band going amidst all
the anger,
serious drama amongst themselves.
I never knew that.
Like the song I was talking about, "Storms." It's Stevie Nicks' apology letter to Mick Fleetwood's wife because she had a brief affair with Mick Fleetwood. So that song was her apologizing to her.
And also, what's the other dude's name?
Lindsey Buckingham.
Yeah, Lindsey Buckingham. Also with him, and both of the females got with him.
Yeah, Christy McVie.
Yeah.
Fucking John on bass. They're all brilliant musicians.
Yeah.
I was confused. I don't know if you ever watched American Horror Story. In one of those episodes, Stevie Nicks.
I saw some of season 1.
She was like part of the witches season, and
okay.
that makes sense. Lost me. But no offense to Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Tearjerkers.
Yeah. The Road is my saddest movie.
I'm trying to think of like any other movie.
Dude, I'm
got me choked
every
up.
movie,
Really
dude. Every fucking movie I watch, I
short.
think if it's a drama or if it's sentimental in any way, I drop a tear. I get into it, dude.
I cried when Tony Stark died.
Yeah,
And
you know
I
what?
knew it was coming.
I think I did too.
Yep.
You know what? The Avengers Endgame,
Yep.
when they started all dying, I think I dropped a tear for that.
Oh yeah, the Infinity War, if I'm not mistaken.
Was that Infinity War or
Yeah,
Endgame?
when they all.
I think it's the end of Infinity War.
Oh, Infinity War, and then Endgame was the one after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Infinity War, I dropped a tear for that.
Yeah.
When Bobby got whacked in The Sopranos, I got kind of upset there, but I didn't cry. But that one I got kind of upset at that.
When in what's the one where Pesci and his brother, was that Casino, where they get and they're in the cornfield and they get hit with the bat and shit like that.
That's I mean,
Frankie, you piece of shit.
Yeah. I cried a little bit for
I
that.
don't
You
feel
know?
bad for mobsters.
I was
but
just
that
like,
was
oh my
really-
god, they're gonna get buried alive and they can't move. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Here's what happens to you and your fucking brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Come
that.
on,
It's a
he's
great
still
movie.
breathing.
Yeah.
Who directed that?
That wasn't Scorsese.
I was gonna guess that, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was
Is
it
that-
Scorsese?
okay. I don't know though.
Oh yeah.
Casino.
Oh
yes.
He just did like a interview with some lady that like lived in New York for 40 years, New York City, and like all she does is bitch the whole time, and like it's on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called, but
They had the one about the Hoffa story. I think Scorsese did that too on Netflix, like the 3-hour Netflix movie.
The Irishman.
The Irishman.
Yeah.
Was that
Irishman?
Scorsese as well?
It was okay.
yeah, it was all right.
I had
It
seen
wasn't
his story
like,
told so many times before, but I like seeing his
Yeah.
film. It was long.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that like a Goodfellas or anything like that, but
No, it's nothing like that.
No, The Departed was his last good one.
yeah, that was a good
Departed
one.
was great. I love that movie. That's one of my top movies. I think my favorite movie is Inception.
That's your favorite
It's
movie
my favorite movie
of all time.
of all time.
That confusing ass fucking
It's not
movie.
I mean, it is, yeah, but you can make sense of it, and
You can.
you can think about it forever.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Is that the one where he's spinning that fucking?
You have to have your own little
Yeah.
trinket so you can prove the reality.
Yeah.
You know, we're kind of there now.
I guess so.
Maybe. Who knows? We're building simulations. We were talking about those Oculus Rift goggles. Like, we're building simulations to take us out of potentially our simulation. We're going down layers instead of looking up layers into like the origin of consciousness, and AI will help figure that out. But before we get
think so?
that, yeah, I mean that's the idea.
So we're not going to help. We can't figure it out ourselves. We need AI to help figure it
Well,
out.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not the scientist, but I think. So I mentioned a few times that with quantum computing. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
The basic idea is that the general CPU, the general processing, is a 1 and a 0. So on or off, 1 0.
Discrete, right?
Yep. Now you have a third bit. It's called a qubit, and it can toggle between 1 or 0 or both. It can be whichever. And the description is like.
We're talking about like a false, true or false pretense here.
Kind of. It's really nuanced and hard to describe.
Like a shark brain.
Yeah.
It goes to sleep in sections. It's still moving
Yeah.
about, but it's
But it's
totally
like-
It's a
asleep.
quicker way.
Is it
to-
on? Yes, it's on. True. Is it on? No, it's not. It's false. Like
Yeah,
that kind of
but there's
pretense.
a symmetry between like atoms in those particular states where they can. The end result is the ability to do calculations is exponentially increased, where like basically right now with some of the encryption algorithms that we have for whatever, just say Google, your Google account.
Yeah.
If somebody was just to brute force try and hack your password, which just means have a computer try every combination, a traditional supercomputer technically it would take a lifetime. It would never finish. You would never get the result because you'd be dead. With quantum computing, you'd be able to do it in like
Because
a second.
it's that much faster.
Yeah. Yep.
And what makes it that much faster?
So it's the not being restricted to just 1 or 0. The third quantum bit really, it's kind of like AI in a way, but that quantum bit explores all other possibilities really fast.
Okay.
And presents, so like if you were to ask a quantum computer what's 1 + 1 versus a regular computer, so if you open up your calculator on your phone and say what 1 + 1 is 2, a true quantum computing answer would be it's probably 2. It's really close to 2. It would give
All
you
right.
but
Are you asking it a definitive answer? Like, this is the answer, it's nothing else? Or are you asking it to think about it could be this or that?
you kind of give it a calculation is really the usage of it.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. So it'll say like, well, what is 1 technically,
Yeah.
and how does it get to 2?
It explores infinity and like the dimensions and the whole quantum physics realm of
So how does it ever come up with an answer if it's like questioning itself? It sounds like a human being. It's just like,
well,
I don't know.
it
could be this or that.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are we eating?
That's a huge field.
Water, meat, and electricity.
Yeah.
And bones.
There's a guy, I think the documentary is called The Transcendental Man by Ray Kurzweil. And he's a big thinker, techie guy. Don't really know a whole bunch of his background, but he is one of the, I think maybe prior to Elon Musk, suggested that we can upload consciousness into a machine. And it would have to be in like a quantum computing state to be able to process. But yeah, these are things people are working on. Some are going up, and some of us are going down into our video game worlds and don't want to experience reality because
we have to adapt. Yeah. And that's like, take a minute to pause. But like, people that are going down in the video game worlds,
I can't blame them.
They might.
There's some fun there, but you gotta.
No, but what I'm trying to say is they might be adapting in their own way.
You're right. Yeah, you're
right. Because they're kind of going into that. Like, maybe they. Like, I don't know what's going through their head these days. You know, if you're talking about kids that are on video games, you know, maybe it's their way to deal with stress. Maybe it's their way to deal with.
For me, it was
what's going on. Yeah, exactly.
I had a basic 16
you can
bit
get
or
lost.
Yeah.
You can get lost in it. But maybe that was just our generation. Maybe this generation doesn't get lost in it and they can find their way out. Or it's just making them really angry. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, Mike, you mentioned Louis C.K. in the beginning, and you're talking about kids always on their phone. How your stepson is always angrier when he's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Louis C.K. was on one of the late night shows, Conan or somebody, and he gave a pretty good rant about kids need to experience empathy and what it feels like to hurt somebody and to be hurt by somebody else early, because you make those decisions and grow from there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this didn't make me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So you get these young kids online going, you know, you suck, and they put their phone away and go, ha ha, and you know, they just move on with their day.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of interaction where it's like somebody looked at you and made you feel bad, like you used to have to do. You got to get bullied. You know, hopefully you don't become a bully, but like that experience of like, oh, these things, you know, create emotion for me, and I don't like this feeling. And you grow from that, and they're losing that connectivity.
Yeah.
Or even with the masks in school, I never even thought of that argument or that fact until it was brought up. But the learning characteristics of children to not see the full face of a teacher and expressions.
Oh yeah, facial.
Yeah, I never even considered that being.
I didn't either. Yeah,
until,
that's a pretty good theory there. I don't know.
Especially speech therapists, they can't see the mouth.
Right.
Like you can't see the mouth moving, so they're.
What do they do for like deaf students that only like? Are there any more deaf kids that lip read? Is there any more lip reading? Period.
As compared to what?
Yeah,
though?
I would think so.
During COVID, as compared to like
with the masks. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah. I mean, I think about the what's that? There's like a movie with like the CIA. They're at a horse track and they're was it like a Mission Impossible maybe or something like that?
Sounds like that.
Sounds like a Mission Impossible. It might have been
I was
actually.
going to guess Minority Report or Enemy of the State or something.
Minority Report.
Was it Minority Report?
I think so. Yeah.
It's like
he's at a horse track and he's trying to. They're reading the lips, right?
I don't know. You might be right, but I know Minority Report is about like
Tom Cruise was in the fucking movie.
It's Minority. So. Yeah, it's got to be Minority Report. It's like the pre-crime. They'll know that you're going to commit a crime before you even doing it.
Yeah. and they were reading lips or something like that across the way. But how do you do that now?
They can probably do that. There's probably AI software that can identify most likely your race and your origin and what languages you speak. Track your lip movements. And
that needs to be canceled right off the bat.
Oh,
if you mention the word race, yeah, that's done. They're done.
All right.
That fucking software's
Let's just
done.
unplug this.
Yeah.
I would think that if you're deaf, you would have to learn sign language first before learning how to read lips. I don't know. Unless the next pandemic, we all have to wear fucking boxing gloves.
I don't know. Unless you had like a bomb blow off near you, and you're like waking up from the bomb, and it's just like ringing in your ears, and like someone's in front of you talking, and you hear them talking.
But you've heard before.
That was like a movie scenario.
Yeah,
that's
different.
That was my question though. Like, so if you were born deaf, how would you know what sound is expected to be made by a certain position of the mouth versus like a movie scenario?
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
If
you've heard before, then you
okay. So if you're born deaf, you're probably not reading lips.
Yeah, so I'm guessing.
If you're deaf after the fact, like I don't know, maybe Beethoven. I don't know. Did Beethoven read lips? I don't know.
We should ask him.
Do we know anyone who's deaf that we can get on the podcast? Would that work?
Should we? If they can wear the headphones, I mean, I don't know.
Can we put anything out in Braille? No, that's blind people. Okay.
They can sign language. That's when we start video.
Yeah, that'll be the first video.
Okay. On that note, I'm gonna we're gonna delete that and I'm gonna take a piss. All right, we're gonna make a transition now into autism.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about it.
Yeah, on the garage.
Yeah, so back to technology, but like creativity and the idea of mental health, and like what's the, who gets to say, no matter how smart you are and how well studied you are, like what's the model brain that you can point to and go, everybody should want to be close to this in terms of like neurotransmitters.
I think we came to the conclusion that autistic people are normal. They're the smartest people in the world.
Yeah.
Why is that not the norm? Why is...
Well, I guess the total flip reality is if everybody was autistic and people that weren't were like, wow, what the fuck's wrong with you?
You're dumb?
Yeah. So it's the decision of the mass that says most of us, interact with each other this way. We behave this way. So when we see something that's different, we're going to have to label it and study it.
Yeah.
And you get to the point where, there's definitely retardation and serious cognitive issues, but the autistic spectrum, we're talking about Elon Musk, of him being admittedly Asperger's.
It's like a pretty big spectrum, though.
Yeah, and
like
I don't know.
When we're talking about in the Heather Upscraft episode, like what? I still don't know how it's labeled. Like what is the spectrum? 1 to 10? Like what?
Oh, I have no idea. But I think it similar to like what ADHD was or still is. It's popular to diagnose on somewhere on the spectrum.
Is that even real?
It goes back to possibly being able to give somebody a drug and make some money.
Maybe.
Which might stifle potential creativity that they have in their autistic brain that lets them fire off consciousness in a different way that we do. They see reality just that much differently.
Yeah.
But they can still interact with us in most cases.
I was just talking to my sister a little bit earlier. Like I definitely have ADD. I have forever. Briefly in the 5th grade, I was prescribed to Adderall and I could focus really well. Like for a brief time in 5th grade, my grades went up, but I had like the thought of food or eating made me physically ill. Like I couldn't eat anything. Yeah. And when it wore off, like near the end of the day, I would just feel really anxious and like rubbery and out of place. Like I can't function. But then when I take a pill again in the morning, we'd boop.
Yeah.
Like super focused.
I went to my doctor and this is a while back. And I was like, I think I might have ADD. Like I'm just going through like all these options. right? And like let's try this. Like I've taken Adderall back in high school, and I was like this. I told him this.
What was
like,
before Adderall? Ritalin.
Ritalin.
They're kind of the
an
same,
amphetamine.
but not really. I don't
Yeah.
know. But like
Anyway, go ahead.
I was like, so I took this back in high school, and like I was like, wow, yeah, I can pay attention. I raised my hand a lot more. I brought my grades up. He's like, yeah, that will happen to anybody that's taking
speed.
Adderall.
It's
Just
it's
like,
a speed
yeah,
type
it's just
thing.
like, well, how do you? Okay, so how do you fucking diagnose ADHD or whatever? Like, how do you diagnose that if this drug that you're giving this person will do the same thing to anybody you fucking give it to?
Right, that's a very good point. That's
Yeah.
a really good question. I don't know. And I think it exists, of course, to some degree, but how do you fit into it? Are you having like a life change when you're a child? Like you're no longer a toddler, now you're becoming like an adolescent, and you're growing out of shit, and you're kind of having moods, and does that mean now you need this medication, or you just need, better parenting or more dialogue to figure it out? I don't know. Some kids definitely are wild and hyperactive and, need
For
to be
sure.
medicated.
And I was one of them.
Yeah,
And my son is one of them too.
Yeah.
But does he need drugs to maintain, or does he just need to breathe?
Who knows? Who gets to decide too? Again, it's back to that model brain of this is how you should be.
Okay, so as an adult, you learn how. So
I think I know a lot of
unless
adults
you
that
want
need
to be
medication versus children.
unless you want to be on Adderall the rest of your life, or any kind of medication or whatever, you have to learn how to cope with what's going on in your life, right? I was always hyperactive. I still kind of am. Like I still kind of am like over punctual. Like I just like I'm over.
But who decided that was bad?
Well, my wife does.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's a perfect answer.
But can I control it myself? Yes, absolutely. Like I'm an adult. Like I can see what's happening to me. Children, they might not be able to. So okay,
Yeah.
that may be a solution. Like drugs may be a solution for that, but maybe not. Like, can you reason with a child? Yes, absolutely. You can.
Yeah, yeah.
It might take a lot of time. It might take a lot of effort in
Yeah, I
the
know
adult.
it works for them.
Yeah.
But really, how much of it is just gaslighting?
Right.
It could be a lot. It could be, but
There's a large population.
Okay,
of
so
people
fucking
that
with the
fight.
children.
regardless.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but like also the children might be taking advantage of it too. Like,
Right.
oh, this adult is doing this to me. Well, I'm gonna do this to, like.
Well, I've known people that just liked the feeling and faked,
Well, yeah,
ADHD just so they could have
maybe.
an amphetamine prescribed.
Absolutely, yeah, because it does the same
So-
thing to everybody. Doesn't matter what you have.
Yeah,
Right,
dude.
right.
If,
I mean,
so
if it
there's
Want to put
weren't,
your fucking grades up? Take some Adderall.
yeah, if it weren't for the feeling like I'm dying aspect of it when it wears off and I couldn't eat, I would be still on I'd probably have graduated to much harder drugs by now. But yeah, if there's no
Yeah,
bad physical or mental side effect from it, you're just gonna keep taking it, even if there is.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
But I guess my bottom line is, can you take any adult or child? Can you take a child? Like the child's the hardest. Can you take a child, sit them down, and talk to them? Not once, but multiple times over a couple years maybe, and then eventually they grow out of it. It takes a lot of work.
Right.
But you know what's not a lot of work? Here, take this drug.
Right. So there's a patient aspect of
Yeah.
let's see where this goes. If there's violence and destruction and continual worsening of whatever behavior might be seemingly an issue at the time.
Yeah.
you know.
So, like, if you have autism, like, why would you want to subside that? Like, why would you want to bring that? Why would
Yeah.
you? Why wouldn't you want to accentuate that?
I guess extreme autism removes like ability to
Well, okay, so
physically communicate.
communicate.
but,
Yes, okay, I understand that.
But lower scales, like
Yeah.
lower.
As a child, especially, like, you think something's wrong. This child's not communicating, but that doesn't mean that they're thinking. That doesn't mean the wheels aren't moving behind, you know, the brain.
Yep.
You know, just because they're not communicating. Communicating is a big part of society, and it should definitely be done. But does it have to be done as a child? Like, it helps the child develop.
Right. It's
right?
important. creativity is just as important, I would say. So if you stifle either, you're fucking half your life.
But if you're holding that creativity in your head to yourself, maybe it's in there.
Yeah.
It's not like there's nothing in there, right?
Right. No, it's just the expression outward to get somebody else to without
acknowledge
and understand. Like,
this is a person of society.
Yeah.
It's like, but if you hold that in, other people are thinking they're judging you on that, right?
Well, yeah, it's just a new label for you then instead of So maybe some people just, even if they're aware of that they're autistic or have Asperger's, they might not want to just present that to people, whereas others really don't give a shit. Elon, I think, said on Saturday Night Live, he's like, I'm the first host to have autism on Saturday Night Live. I think it's the first time.
He said Asperger's.
But it's same thing, I guess, really. But
yeah, but it's not even a thing anymore, I guess.
Yeah, there's like I was saying with ADHD, there's a lot of.
I think he was making fun of it.
You think so?
Not making fun of like autism in general, but like making fun of like that. He has Asperger's.
Like, look how different I really am. Not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that there is really like the spectrum of autism. They're like Asperger's isn't really a thing anymore.
Right. Well, I'm kind of making an assumption here too, but I think depending on your drives, your ideas, your access to things, like having that kind of mindset where you have this burst of creativity and like a firing brain, you don't know what to do with it, and if you don't decide to create things or become an artist or draw, like the attraction to changing your mindset and consciousness by just using drugs, and then you get fixated on that. Like I think either autistic people are brilliant and creative and known about, or there's probably a lot of people that are kind of just default their brain back to, whether it's through pharmaceuticals that are actually prescribed or just like street crap. But that's they don't seem to sit in one place and just live as they are. They're gonna go one way or another,
right?
And it's
could be good or bad.
Again, no doctor stuff here. I'm not a.
Oh yeah. Well, that was the Ash episode.
Yeah,
that's what he did. He self-medicated himself, and it was like
these are my experience assumption kind of things.
It turned out bad for him. He got into the wrong shit, heroin specifically, and if it was just like if a doctor just could have like diagnosed him with the right thing, but it takes time. I understand that. Like doctors aren't like. Just like with anything, if you're troubleshooting anything,
it's a practice.
Especially a human being, like it's going to take time. You have to visualize and you have to acknowledge, so that takes time, right?
Well, even with like a lawyer or prosecutor, any sort of court case kind of thing where they're trying to make their case, no pun intended, they refer to other cases and other law.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
blah versus blah.
Yeah, doctors have to do the same thing.
Right.
If they go, okay, what's going on here? They refer to other peer-reviewed science and stuff and make a assessment based on that and a treatment.
Yeah.
And you might, I guess it's a reality where like if you're out in the middle of nowhere, yes, the guy's a doctor, but he might not have access to a database that has decades worth of information and new research and new techniques and treatments.
And it's changing all the time, right?
Yeah.
The research is changing all the time.
Yeah.
So that research that was done 10 years ago that diagnosed somebody might be a lot different now.
Yeah. I think that's part of you ever heard of Doctors Without Borders? I think that's part of what they do is bring, if they want it. I guess in Africa sometimes they don't like it. I've heard the conspiracy rumors. We don't want the vaccines. But they bring Western medicine into countries and help build facilities and infrastructure and stuff so that they can have access to the same kind of thing that we do. It's a crazy world where you never really know what's the right thing to do, and it's your job to try and treat somebody.
Yeah.
I think the vast majority of doctors have no malicious intent.
No, absolutely not.
Even when they can profit from a drug, if they market it to their patient, or that's probably a bad word, but they prescribe it to their patient.
You're talking about the 70s and the 80s now. You know what I mean? I don't think that happens anymore.
Well, no, drug reps come in all the time and say, hey, this is the new thing on the market for depression or whatever. Oh yeah, I can almost guarantee that.
Free market economy.
It's legal.
Yeah, you're right.
But I believe there's a moral aspect.
But that's why people don't trust doctors.
Right. There's it's
Yep.
why people don't trust a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
The corruption of the human intervention.
It's just money.
You can have brilliant ideas that on paper like this will work.
Money.
Communism would have worked if people,
Socialism would have worked
yeah.
too.
It's a bad idea, I think, if you look at all the history.
Yeah.
But the problem really is people everybody going along with that, and not and you're destroying individualism, and that's bad.
Right.
So I mean, it's the human interaction is really where it happens. You have to see and put it in the petri dish of humans and see what really happens, because the social engineering and experimentation, all the talking is not going to provide an answer. It never will.
We're all just dust in the wind,
bro.
man.
All right. Well,
Aye.
all right. That I mean, I'm glad we brought that up, man. I want to end this now, though. So
I'm feeling the whiskey now.
yeah, we're good. All right, you want to keep going?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I was saying I'm going to start slurring my words if we keep going.
Oh, whatever. If you're making good points, doesn't.
Well, there's still the follow-up show called D
yeah.
After
All right.
Dark. That's where Jay takes you in the
Yeah.
garage.
I was just talking about that with him. I was like, this is where the real talk happens.
Yeah.
I gotta get mics out there, I guess.
Uh,
No, is that legal?
2 D's in the
it's-
dark.
2 D's in the dark.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Who knows
I mean,
what will happen?
Is that? Can I? I get it's my house, so I can legally record anything I want, right? I don't have to have anyone's permission.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you do.
You
Yeah.
bet.
I think
All right,
even
well, I'm
if you
gonna-
accidentally...
Well, this is shaping up to be a weird night for you, Jeremy.
Up outside. Yeah. Thanks for coming on, Jeremy.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
It was a pleasure.
We got to do it like the Ice Bucket Challenge, though. Mike Butinsky, you're next,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yes.
Come on
yes,
soon.
you are, Mike.
You can have a great storytelling time.
Hey,
You know
that's
what?
a good idea.
If I get a third mic, maybe I can get both these on at the same time.
Bring Justin down, too. We'll have a little party.
Yeah. Justin and I want to get Christian on too,
Yeah.
for sure. Good. So I
this
got to
is
get like
fun.
5 mics. God
Yeah.
damn it, it's gonna be expensive. 2Ds is part of Might Be News Network. That's mbnnetwork.com. It is also a fucking done sound production. If you would like to tell your story on 2Ds and an F, email us at 2Ds and an F podcast at gmail.com. That's TWODSANDANF podcast at gmail.com. For episode segments, extras, and upcoming guest interviews, check out 2Ds and an F podcast pages on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Full-length episodes are available on YouTube, Spotify, and just about everywhere other podcasts are found. Don't forget to like and subscribe.